I just want some me time.
We could all use a sanctuary from stress. Why not turn your bedroom into the place to decompress with our selection of comfortable beds, pillows, decor, mood lighting, and so much more? Every time you step in there, it's nothing but me time. I mean, you time.
Sounds like a dream.
Here to make your me time dreams come true. Visit us in-store or at ikea-usa.com/sleep to create a comfy, blissful bedroom today.
Hey you guys, I'm Catherine Legg. I'm a racing driver who's literally driven everything with four wheels across the planet. And I've got a new podcast. It's called Throttle Therapy. This season, I'm gearing up to make history, competing in some of the world's most notorious racing events. Listen to Throttle Therapy with Catherine Legg on America's #1 podcast network.
Listen to that just for her voice.
Free iHeart app and search Throttle Therapy with Catherine Legg and start listening.
Presented by Elf Beauty, founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, green. That's green. Enter it now.
You got to get in to win. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come catch you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is live in the Ingalls studio, and we are heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat. Welcome in to another rousing episode of no football until the weekend. Man, it's amazing how far the desert stretches. Just when you're so close, right? So not so far removed from the season.
I'm glad you didn't say we there, because that is not how I currently feel.
The championship game was on Monday night. And now I already feel like I miss it. I want football back.
I frankly, you could push this off for, I don't know, another month. It'd probably give me enough time to get nice and caught up, which would be lovely. I don't feel that way at all. I was up until 5 this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been asleep before 4 o'clock one day this week.
Well, that's not good.
It's tired. I'm just a tired guy, Tank. Got the Senior Bowl coming up next week. Got all the things for that today. So officially we are going, which I'm not gonna say I'm starting to worry about that. It was just, I don't know, 2 weeks later than it was last year. So did start to get a little edge, you know?
Yeah. That clock's a ticking on all of the draft profiles and such, which you can find over at NFLDraft.net.
We have the quarterback page officially done, and I will venture a guess it's not going to change for the rest of the Draftmas season.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, what could make that change? Do you typically change your rankings based on the scouting workouts and such?
No, it's more deeper. I do more deep dives in the off season. Mm-hmm. So there are guys occasionally that will jump off a screen. I'll see them at the Senior Bowl. I'll see them at the Shrine Bowl. I go do a deeper dive and go, okay, maybe I was a little too hard on that guy, or maybe I like that guy too much. That's not happening this year. I have Bill Workman said quarterback is the easiest draft grade this year. Yes, it is. It may be the easiest one I've ever had.
You got a couple of first rounders, a couple of second rounders, probably.
I have a first rounder. I have 2 second rounders, and then I got a bunch of dudes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're talking about worth. Because there will be more than one going in the first round.
Two will
There'll
go
be
in the
one.
top 2 picks, and then another one won't go for at least 30 selections.
Right, which is a big problem for one of those two teams picking 1 and 2.
And I don't
One of
think
those
it's the
guys
one
is
that
not-
everyone is telling you.
Wait. Which one is that?
I'm just going to say the Tennessee Titans introduced Mike Borgonzi as their new GM this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the way that they phrased all of the phrases that they phrased should tell you a lot about where they are in their pre-draft analyses. Because the exact verbatim was, we're not going to pass on a generational talent in this class. Well, there are a handful of those, but none of them play quarterback. So, ball's in your court.
So Travis Hunter, welcome to Tennessee.
That is what I feel like was put out. Now, what do I always call from this day until April 26th?
It's the lying season.
It is lying season. This is where they will lie to you so they can lie upon you later.
I've always thought that was odd though. Like, why if you have the number 1 pick are you lying to me?
Oh, you want me to answer that? Because I can do it in no more than 2 sentences.
Yeah.
Because the Tennessee Titans would kill 5 people they liked for somebody to give them that Bryce Young deal so they could go, hey, we're going to go pick a 6. That'd be fun. You take Cam Ward because we don't really want to.
Okay. I mean, that could get the who's picking 3rd?
Oh, let's see. You go Titans, Browns, Patriots. Let's see. Who's at 4?
The Giants.
The Giants are at 4. Or no, I think I flipped that. The Giants are 3 and the Patriots are 4.
Yeah.
Jaguars are 5.
I guess that's the sign. Then that's the sign. That's the sign for the Tennessee Titans to call. They're calling on the New York Giants without picking up the phone, saying, "Hey, you want a quarterback?"
Well, I believe Mr. Prime, Mr. Sanders, Mr. Coach Prime, however he wants to be referred to. I believe he's already made that decision, and it leads through, as Soaring Eagle said, East Rutherford, New Jersey, or Las Vegas, Nevada.
You think he's going to hold out?
Oh, I fully believe. Shedeur Sanders' next snap comes for either the Raiders or the Giants. Now, that could be that he forces the Browns to not take him, and they go, okay, cool, we'll take Travis Hunter.
Right.
Or Abdul Carter and put him on the opposite side of Myles Garrett.
Or Cam Ward.
I don't know that Cam Ward's going to be there. I think he goes 1 no matter who has that pick.
Okay. I mean, unless it's New York or Las Vegas moving up to 1, which Tennessee is sending the signal.
Yeah, we can talk more about that as time goes on because we have somewhat breaking news, and it has to do with the logo on your shirt.
Oh, do we? Do I get to play the music for this one?
Yeah.
Should we go?
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
This came out from Adam Schefter within the hour. Liam Coen will be returning to your Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Huzzah!
I'm gonna let you. You go ahead and say how you feel about that because I have a weird feeling we're not gonna agree.
Okay, so I'm guessing this is going to be a move that you don't like because I like it.
For your Buccaneers, I think it's great.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, I do have to look at Mr. Coen and go, does the name Byron Leftwich mean anything to you?
Now, see, that was, of course, the first name that came to my mind because he was the offensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when Tom Brady won a Super Bowl. Right? They had the next year that was really good, and they almost went, they got beat by the Rams in the playoffs that year. And then Byron went to do the thing with the Jacksonville Jaguars, did the interview, got really close. Then there was all the reports that he didn't want that job because Trent Baalke had the job. And so he told him to stuff it, and he came back to Tampa. And the last year of that was so bad that he lost his job, and he ain't been heard from since. That could be the way this goes for Liam Coen. In Liam Coen's situation, I think this is a good call because, well, one, why would you want to do that? Jacksonville just on that short list of teams that it'd really take a lot for me to take their phone call if they were offering me a job in the NFL.
Well, there's 30. Always remember, and I tell you this every single year. Mm-hmm. Always remember, there's only 32 of them.
Sure.
It's not like college football where I can just line up one of the other 137 jobs that are available.
No doubt. It's one of the most exclusive clubs in the world. We understand that. But there are good jobs and there are bad jobs. And the Jacksonville Jaguars is a bad job. That's a job that it would take somebody special to be successful in that scenario. There's only one guy that's really done it. I mean, I guess if you count the 1 year of Mike Mularkey.
Oh no, you would be talking about old. You'd be talking about old Dougie Doug. What was his last name?
Doug Marrone.
Doug Marrone.
He was the coach of the playoff team.
I always thought it was funny that Dougie's last name was Moron for somebody with a really weird accent, and I thought about that every single time I saw his face.
Right. I mean, Tom Coughlin had some good years there.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't a whole bunch of them, but he did have some good years there. Led him to the Giants job. He won a couple of Super Bowls up there.
Now, can I potentially get you to look at this a slightly different way?
Okay, what way is that?
Was Liam Coen a head coaching prospect a year ago?
No.
Why is he a head coaching prospect now?
Because his offense was really good.
Mm-hmm. You looked at the teams that your Bucks play next year? Because I'm looking at it right now.
I have not studied on it. No.
All right, let's dive, shall we?
Okay.
You first of all only have 8 home games, so you're in the NFC. They get 9 road games next year. So you play the 3 teams in your division, home and away. Your away games are at the LA Rams, the Seattle Seahawks, the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, the Detroit Lions, and the Houston Texans.
That's not gonna be fun.
That's not good at all. But surely to God, the home schedule will be better. Well, you do get New England,
okay,
and you do get the Jets, who may or may not have a quarterback, but I feel pretty sure they're going to have a pretty good defense. The other 4 are the other 3 are the Arizona Cardinals, San Francisco 49ers, and Philadelphia Eagles.
Hot.
Yeah, I don't know how Liam Coen looked at that schedule and went, what could happen in my world where the Panthers aren't better than they were last year, the Falcons aren't better than they were last year, and the Saints aren't better than they were last year? Oh, and then we get to play Murderer's Row for all of our non-divisional games.
Yes.
I think he's going to live to regret this.
He probably will.
You have to strike when the iron's hot. And
like
he
Byron.
was hot in this hiring cycle because there's not a lot of offensive guys. It was Ben Johnson and a bunch of dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just look at the track of Joe Brady. Joe Brady got head coaching interviews a handful of years ago. Then what happened? The albatross of the Carolina Panthers, and he went to the pit of misery for 4 years. And I get it. You want to wait. I got unfinished business. My point here is I think Ben Johnson has made it not necessarily vogue. He's just made it more of a thing that a coordinator can say, I have unfinished business. I have unfinished business that I want to come and attend to. How'd it work out for Ben? He wound up taking a lesser job a year later.
Yes.
And then win a Super Bowl. I got news for you. Tampa Bay win a Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield.
No.
It's one thing to have the best offense in the NFL, which is what the Detroit Lions had, and bet on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Also
with a talented defense that they put a lot of money into. The Detroit Lions were the definition of cool in this past offseason. I don't see that in Tampa Bay. And I've got countless examples of guys that went, oh, let's pump the brakes. I'm not quite ready to be a head coach. And the NFL saw that and went, cool, we're going to lose your phone number because we don't need to call you again.
Yeah. You do run that risk, right? There was an article just, I was reading this before we came on the air today. Rick Stroud, one of my big sources, everybody's sources for Tampa Bay news, down at the Tampa Bay Times, Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat writer Rick Stroud did a story 3 days ago on Byron Leftwich. This is Byron Leftwich was on track to become an NFL head coach. Why did he fall off the radar? And the whole article just talks about the fact that he had the chance. Mm-hmm. He was one of the hottest offensive names in the game. Mm-hmm. He went to the Jaguars, did the interview process. His last year in Tampa Bay was so horrific. Remember, that was the Tom Brady final year of his career. They went 8-9, snuck into the playoffs because the NFC South is terrible. Got their doors blown off by the Dallas Cowboys. Tom Brady leaves. They reset the decks and went, you know what? This is on Byron. It's Byron's fault. Byron got the blame for it. Nobody else got the blame for that except for Byron. Why? Well, because you were in a situation where Byron was the only one you could blame.
Well, Byron was also
you had just hired Todd Bowles that year as your head coach,
and he had been the DC.
Mm-hmm.
And Byron was also in a position where he was supposed to be the one that carried out Bruce Arians' offense, and so that was basically like a 1-year living resume of this is what's going to happen to your offense if Byron Leftwich takes over, because he's going to bring in his own guys, and this is what it's going to look like. Then you take in the fact that he interviewed very peculiarly. There are a lot of syllables in that. I don't know. I screwed one up. I don't know which one it was. We'll move on.
I think you did it well. That's fine.
There were things in the way he interviewed that people didn't like. It was very off-putting. That he felt like a 2. That is what I've heard from people around the NFL, is that he just never felt like a head coach. Jacksonville bought into him because he was a Jacksonville born-bred. NFL career was entirely in Jacksonville minus the last year, I think. And they were in. He spurned them, and everybody else looked around and went, nah, I think we're good. Then you gave them a reason to doubt you. And in the NFL, if you give teams a reason to doubt you, they will. Mm-hmm. Liam Coen was in a catbird seat. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. There were people around the league that said this about Ben. They thought the way the Washington thing was handled was very clunky. Mm-hmm. Josh McDaniels did this with the Indianapolis Colts years ago. Where I'm in, but then I'm out. And now McDaniels went further than Liam or Ben or anybody else did. But this does give a pause for concern. And I won't be shocked if next year we're going through the coaching process and Liam Cohen's not mentioned.
It all depends on whether or not you can turn out, a top 5 offense again. You might be able to.
I think you're going to struggle doing that against the schedule you play.
You probably will. I mean, that is a daunting schedule. There are 2, 3, 4 maybe wins on that schedule that you can just look at blindly and go, yeah, you should probably win that. The rest of it is all contenders or teams on the rise.
Well, and it's all franchises either that we know are really good right now, or they are franchises that we know are historically good.
Mm-hmm. That was a shot at the San Francisco 49ers, wasn't it?
Sure was. It sure was. That was exactly what I was thinking of.
Be talking about. Oh yeah, San Francisco was on that.
Hey, you're usually good. This year, don't look behind that door.
Right, yeah, Arizona, Houston, those aren't going to be easy games by any stretch of the imagination, especially if you don't fix that defense. C.J. Stroud finds it. Anyhow, that's not changing. And Liam Coen, I part of me gets it. Part of me also understands why this might be a bad idea. Because you are only as good as your last resume tape. And if you put up a horrific resume tape next year against a tougher schedule, better defenses than you faced this year, when you had, Baker Mayfield playing the best year of his career and you were top 5 in the league in statistical offensive category after offensive category. Like, what killed Byron was that team in the first 2 years of Tom Brady averaged 30 points a game. The third year, the final year, 18 points. They couldn't score for anything. And you were supposed to be the guy. I remember we had discussions about, I can't wait till Byron Leftwich just turns loose on this defense and Bruce Arians not holding him back anymore. And then what happened? The offense stagnated. You couldn't move the ball.
The best way I can equate this, and yes, I'm very much in draft mode, so people that are you wonder why I keep bringing it up. Well, eat, sleep, and breathe it for 16 hours a day. Don't be shocked when it comes up in conversation a lot. I equate this to a guy like Nick Singleton. You can come back to school, and I understand why you're enjoying what you're doing, and you don't think you're ready. Just understand this. If you come back and do the same thing you did last year, we're going to see that as a regression. You have to get better year over year because now you're a year further into this. You're a year deeper into this. You're a year older. And so I expect to see progression because that's why I would be hiring you, is what you can become as a head coach. If you stagnate, even doing the same thing you just did, you get Tampa Bay into the playoffs, but Baker throws more interceptions. The offense is not quite as dynamic. Now we're going to start looking at this going, well, you did build out that line. You do have Bucky Irving. You do have Mike Evans. We don't have any of that. And it gives me pause for cause. We have a super chat that we will get to after the break because that's the next segment of this here program. And so we'll just tie them all together for Great North Sports.
Yep. When we come back right here on ESPN Asheville.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like
clear
on meeting great candidates? It seems impossible to find them. Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Kevin Hart here for DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We're here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4 VICTIMS.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping
So I
neighbors,
just learned
and we
something
learned
about
in desperate
myself.
times, what are the best things to... What's that? There's a redneck with a chainsaw.
Apparently the stress of the draft and all the other things going on and failure and everything else.
After answering
apparently
the
weighing
calls
on me
for
more than
help
I thought.
that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here. Okay.
I've lost 27 pounds in 15
insured,
days.
And local. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
316-1013. Well, you should.
I went from,
13.
I was 300, well, 22 days, so 21 days from the first. I also apparently don't know what the date is. I was 317 pounds on January 1st. I just weighed myself, and I am just a hint under 290.
They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space, and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your...
Normally, I would say good job. However...
You shouldn't.
Ingles, low prices.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford, Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community heroes, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of...
The only way I could have lost it in the worst way is if I'd had
delivering
done it with
emergency
methamphetamine.
services to all corners of the county and first responders. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. You can follow us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. Hop into some of our rousing Facebook conversations that Jeremy's been sparking up.
Yeah, you can hop in on the mayor of Philadelphia, who doesn't know how to spell Eagles. Apparently doesn't know how to.
E-G-L-S-E-S Eagles.
Somebody said that they were that she was making fun of someone else. That may be true. Here's the problem: you put a video of yourself on the internet misspelling your own NFL team name. Somebody should have told you that. We don't look for context, bruh.
Nope.
Context doesn't matter. You said it, and that's all that matters.
She wasn't making fun.
I know she wasn't.
She was ending the press conference with, first off, everybody get to the game safely because it had just snowed. And then to send everybody off, we got to do this before we leave. And then she messed it up at letter 2. Like, usually you could, you get confused going deeper into the word. Not she just right off the bat, E-L-G, just shoot.
Yeah, and then she just kept going. S.
E-L-G-S-E-S, Eagles.
I know there's another S in here somewhere. I don't know. Gambit fan said when politicians pretend they do sports. That was what I said on social media. What did you say about me on Facebook over the last... You said something, I just couldn't hear you. You went out in my ear as you were talking about me sparking up conversations on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, you're just trying to get people to fight on Facebook, and
I'm doing a damn good job of it, too.
Yeah, he is.
4 million views in the last 3 weeks. No big deal. Now, a lot of them are calling us, inbred rednecks and morons and everything else. But I just look at those, and you can always tell that I have no interest in further engagement with you when I give you either the ha-ha or the care. If I laugh or hug, I'd end of message.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
good.
Done. We're not responding. Just moving right along.
I do believe that Eagles Philadelphia mayor thing, that's the definition of politics in America right now. That is one of the most powerful people in one of the biggest cities in the country. And she can't spell the national bird.
Andreas Pinckney said she can't spell, and she is the leader of that city. I'd be afraid. I'd be very afraid. Well, I'd be afraid too, but good news is most of her voters can't spell it either. So, without doing the chant.
At Sports Tank ESPN.
I make the same joke about Georgia fans. Don't start.
I'm not gonna lie. I made that joke about Jets fans too.
Georgia.
I've made that same joke about Jets fans. The only reason you know how to spell it is because we do it every 3 or 4 games when we accidentally score.
Right. We do have a super chat to get to here before the bottom of the hour break.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And it comes to us from Great North Sports. Go ahead, Jeremy.
He said, do you think Aaron Glenn, seeing what Ben went through and others, tries to get his head coach spot, probably the Jets, this cycle? Okay, we don't quite have enough time to dive all the way into this in this segment. But I do need to give a PSA to all of my Jet fan friends, because Jets Twitter has been a dark, dark place for about 16 hours.
Okay.
Because last night, Adam Schefter tweeted out that Aaron Glenn and Lance Newmark have left the building. And I have had to utter the phrase getting ready to come out of my mouth no less than 50 times. Did you think they were going to sleep there?
Well, you kept saying he's not going to leave the building.
Did he leave the city?
They're not going to let him leave.
Did he leave the city? No, he didn't. Lance Newmark cannot be hired right now. His team's still playing.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Glenn, and I have this on really good authority, was calling position coaches to fill out his Jet staff yesterday. So, am I telling you that this is done? No. You could still have a snag in the language. You could have a snag in the money. I think the parameters are done. I also believe they want to announce these two things together, because the Jets have been super burned by arranged marriages over the last handful of years. So one of the reasons that Aaron Glenn has become so attractive, it's not because he played for the Jets. That didn't end well. I don't know if anybody remembers that or not. It didn't end particularly well. It's that he comes with a GM that he worked with for a long, long time that is very well thought of around the NFL. And they are in one tandem to take over this program, because Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh didn't work out. Adam Gase and Mike McCagnon didn't work out. We've done this a bunch of times. Get them in lockstep.
Yep.
Jet fans, RELAX. Now, what does that mean for the Jets? That's a whole nother story. And we have a story about another team in that division who they've decided to go home again.
Yeah.
And I hate it with an unabashed passion.
Just stick to the blueprint, right? The blueprint, it always works. 60% of the time, it works every time. We'll talk about that coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your
Clear
and our weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
I had a good-looking day today, but one of those cold, kind of deep blue sky, sunny, frigid winter days. Near 30 degrees. Very cold night tonight, down near 12. Single digits in our colder spots. But less wind, so less wind chill, but still a frigid start to Thursday. Some sun with clouds in the afternoon. 38. Friday sunny, we dip a little bit to about 36. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stachik.
This report is sponsored by Mucinex Fast Max All-in-One.
Fever, cough, congestion. Just one dose of Mucinex Fast Max All-in-One relieves up to 9 cold and flu symptoms, helping you get on with your day. It's comeback season. Use as directed.
It's just not normal, the pain caused from chronic joint pain day after day. But some of you have dealt with that pain for so long, it becomes your new normal. Short-term fixes are not working. Get moving again in 2025 with help from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine joint preservation. Yes, you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. This is the future of medicine, using an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis. Tens of thousands of people with pain have discovered these cellular treatments and are living life again without that constant pain in their joints. Want to learn more about how you can refresh your joints to get lasting relief with these amazing treatments? Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Deal with joint pain now so you can make the most of the new year. Call QC Kinetics in Asheville and Greenville. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517.
Shop limited time deals during Lowe's Pro Savings Days. Get a free adjustable stand when you
What's
buy
your
a
outside
DeWalt
story?
12-inch miter saw. That's a $229.
Oh, baseball.
At 113 through 124. while supplies last.
I'm glad you're
Welcome
doing
to
it,
the
because
Ingles
if you
Table,
weren't, I
a
was going
delicious
to.
destination with recipes galore. The experts from the Ingles Table take you through it step by step.
Oh, you can't not. I could not. Friggin' disgrace.
Low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC.
All right, in that case, I'm going to do that. The SEC and Big Ten just scheduled round 2 of negotiations
Download
to
our free app
change
on
the
Google
CFP.
Play or the App Store.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Home search.
You'll
be
tell
able
you
to
how that
connect with our
conversation
team
went.
and
Why do we
homes
need
for
them
sale in our
again?
area.
We don't.
Contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest,
It's so hot!
unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is ESPN Asheville. Let's get just a bit outside, talk a little baseball for just a second. I know, Jeremy, just hang on with me because you're gonna get your chance to have some fun with this one too. Because as somebody who just kind of, sort of keeps a track on baseball, you know who Ichiro Suzuki is, don't you?
I do, and I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna tell this story if you didn't. I'll always take the opportunity to take shots at baseball. I don't want you to break down games because I would rather you tell me about your underwear drawer again, which is something that became a topic on another show in this building not that long ago.
Yep. Ichiro is a Hall of Famer, but he failed to be a unanimous Hall of Famer, which just baffles my mind. I mean, a guy that has over 3,000 hits in Major League Baseball, but had, over 1,200 hits in Japan before he came to Major League Baseball and had 3,000 hits? He was the best leadoff hitter, aside from Ricky Henderson, right? And that was the base stealing and all of that. He was the best pure leadoff hitter that we've ever seen in Major League Baseball. He didn't hit home runs and nobody cared. Dude got on base. Dude scored runs. He was an all-time great. And there is no reason that he should not be a unanimous selection, first ballot Hall of Famer. Yet, there always has to be that one. And this is why I feel like we say this every year. These votes need to be public. We need to know who this was. We need to know who the idiot was that left Ichiro off of the Hall of Fame ballot. Because there was only one. Same thing that happened with Derek Jeter a few years back in 2020. 396 of 397 ballots had Derek Jeter on there, and one moron went, not first ballot for me.
I agree with everything you've said here. It was not really what I was wanting to talk about. Okay. He still got all but one voter, and there's 300 of them?
Almost, yeah, there's over 300. 394. There were 394 this year.
All right. He got 393 votes. Yes. I think we're good. Nope. It's fine. He didn't get 394 or 394, which is stupid. But here's my question. Billy Wagner's been on the ballot for 10 years.
Yes.
Why does he all of a sudden get in now? I've never understood that. He wasn't even close in the beginning.
It's a percentage thing.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is why, after 10 years, he hadn't thrown a baseball in 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, from his first ballot to this one, over 250 people went nope to yes. In spite of the fact you didn't do anything.
Nope, he just waited his turn.
That's
thinned
stupid.
out enough.
See, and that's stupid. That's why baseball's Hall of Fame is
no
done.
different than Torrey Holt not being in. Eventually, Torrey Holt will get into the Hall of Fame, and we'll have the same discussion. Why did it take so long for him to get in?
Torrey Holt's blocked off because you can
backup.
only let 5 guys in a year. Baseball does not have the same problem. You had a year where you didn't let in anybody.
Precisely. It's a worse problem than the NFL has.
It's stupid. It's oh my God.
I agree.
Every year we talk about this, and every year somehow it gets dumber.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a guy that you're all and from what I've heard today, there's like 7 more guys on the ballot. You know what? We're going to get to them. We're going to get to them eventually. Meanwhile, there's still a possibility that you have a year that you look at people and go, hey, you know that thing where you could come to Cooperstown and pay for tickets and have a weekend and have an experience? Nope, we're just not going to do that. Would any other sport do that? You know what? This year Hall of Fame closed. Just going, nope.
No, only baseball would do
so dumb.
It is. It is dumb. But it's that it's that old mindset of, we have to have what do they call it in political terms? A quorum, right? We have to have 2/3 majority. Even more in baseball because you got to have 3/4. You got to get 75% of the vote to even get in. So year after year, you vote for your top 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever that is, and over time, you get the ones in that really deserve it, and then you get to clean up the rest. So Billy Wagner has been gaining support every year, and this year was his year. Carlos Beltran, he's the same way.
Carlos Beltran should have been in the first opportunity.
He's
hey, guess what?
His way.
So should Alex Rodriguez, because I keep looking at that name and going, until that name is in bold, I don't really care about anything else you do.
It's never going to happen.
Oh, I fully disagree with you on that.
He will not get in on the 10-year window.
I fully disagree with you on that.
Oh, I will bet you anything you want.
As that
he
old
will sit for 10 years on that.
Oh,
committee.
I think they're all going to get in eventually. Because baseball is eventually going to look around and go, hey, what demographic is it that doesn't like our sport? Oh, the one that we told them that their childhood didn't matter. Oh, that's the demographic that nobody cares.
Mm-hmm. I fully believe that there will be a year, or there will be a series of years where the Veterans Committee or whoever it is, they don't call it that in Major League Baseball, but you get what I'm saying. That committee is going to get together after the 10-year window, and they'll put all these guys in eventually. Eventually, Roger Clemens will be in, and Barry Bonds, and Mark McGwire, and Sammy Sosa. They'll get their moment. I have no doubts about that. At some point, that will come around. Alex Rodriguez will not be in the 10-year window. He will sit on the ballot, waste away for 10 years, just like Barry, just like Roger, just like all of them did. And people have this discussion, oh, well, when are they going to come around? It's just the way baseball works. And the attrition, right, the mortality rate of the baseball voters, it won't turn over that quickly.
Oh, you got 6 more years.
Right, we'll still have so many still on the voting rolls here that they'll keep them out. They'll keep out all the steroid guys. Nobody will get in their initial window, and it'll be up to us. It'll be up to our generation to go, you know what, this is dumb. But not until you have the votes. And by that point, I'll be a grandfather. By that point, I think I'll have grandchildren.
I would be remiss if I didn't point out Billy Wagner got 46 votes the first year he was on the ballot. I think it'll turn that much. And I can't wait for the day, because I've been telling you 3 years, of eventually the marketing guys are going to get a hold of this. And they're going to go, hey, you get this is dumb, right? Like 40-year-old dudes in large part hate baseball. And that's not an opinion. I have the metrics. It's pretty easy to point out that, man, there's a huge lapse. There's a huge jump from 45 to 54 to 35 to 44. And I wonder why that happened. Oh, maybe because we told them their childhood didn't matter. Maybe we should let all those guys in and say, hey, we're done with the steroid thing, and maybe they'll come back. Anyway.
Yeah, A-Rod has flatlined. His support hasn't gotten any better.
He went from 130, I want to say it was 127 to 146 in 3 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, he picked up like 3% of the vote.
It's okay.
Maybe.
Billy Wagner did
Still
the same
sitting
thing.
at 37.
Mm-hmm. Billy Wagner did the same thing.
Manny Ramirez, same thing. Just won't happen. He's getting to 37%.
Billy stayed on the
34%.
ballot by 12 votes once. That was in his either second or third year. I can't remember which one. Just, it's one of those things that, I can't prove it until I can prove it. And the day I can prove it, just understand, no matter where we are, I will call you and go, I tried to tell you this. Baseball purists are dying at an alarmingly high rate. So,
congratulations to Billy Wagner, CC Sabathia, and Ichiro Suzuki. That's this year's class of the Baseball Hall of Fame. I was excited to see Dustin Pedroia got 11% of the vote. He gets on the ballot next year. Congratulations for him.
Woo, and he'll never get in. Speaking of things that are really dumb, the college football playoff. You remember long ago, like yesterday, I told you that the SEC and the Big Ten at some point were going to come together and, we're not doing this anymore. Mm-hmm. We're not letting Notre Dame get all the money when they come through this because they're an independent. We're going to change that. The seeding system, the number of teams in it, we got some changes to make. Well, this is where I have to admit I was wrong because I said that those talks were going to happen. What I didn't know, and I know now, is that those talks have already happened. Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti met in Nashville back in October and are now planning, according to Heather Dinich and Yahoo Sports, they're planning another meeting between the power brokers of the Big Ten and the SEC. Let me tell you, I'm just going to spitball here and tell you I think I know how that conversation's going to go. Why do we need them again? Anybody, show of hands, anybody know why we need the ACC, the Big 12? Anybody got any pressing business here? Oh, okay. So that it has to be unanimous thing? You're right. Or I can just leave. I can leave. You can have your stupid playoff with the Sun Belt and the WAC and the Mountain West and the American, and we'll take Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma, on and on and on, and we'll go have our own. Which one do you think will survive? Because you'll become the NIT in 1 year.
Yep.
Because we'll see that little logo and go, oh, yeah, that's the playoff, and then we'll watch it one time. Where you have Colorado playing BYU and Clemson and Appalachian State, and in the large part, people are going to go, oh, yeah, I don't care.
Nope.
Times, they are a-changing, and I don't think it's going to take that long. I think it stays 12 for quite some time. I've always differed from mainstream media on that. Because I don't think there's a reason to add more. Your biggest problem right now is how bad the first round was because it didn't rate.
This year proved to me that we don't need 12. The problem is you've already gone down this path and you ain't going back. Once we've added teams, we ain't taking teams.
Well, you're never going to unfalafel that chicken, so that's
no.
just it's not coming.
No, but anybody who says, "Oh, well, we need 14 teams," get out of here. No, we don't.
That's going to be allowed. That will be a loud press because of South Carolina and Alabama. You mark my words, they will use that.
Ugh. I'm good.
Meanwhile, the power brokers are going to come back and go, it's already getting harder to sell. Because they're wanting us to gift them the first round so that they'll carry the quarterfinal, the semifinal, and then what they really want which is the final game of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I never did see a TV number on that.
Oh, I never did either.
I'll see if I can find it.
See that reported. While he's looking that up, do just want to remind everybody on Wednesday nights, 7 o'clock, right? Or is it 8 o'clock? Great North Sports?
Wednesdays.
7 o'clock or 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Tonight at 8 o'clock. I apologize. Tonight at 8 o'clock, Great North Sports will be on the YouTubes. Once again, they'll have a rousing discussion about the Hall of Fame issues, Ichiro Suzuki, and the voting and such. Just want to throw that out there. 8 o'clock on Wednesday nights. You can check out Great North Sports on the YouTubes.
We do not have a college football championship game television rating yet.
They're so ashamed of it, they're hiding it from you.
It's not a good sign that 2 days later you still don't have one. That feels like a 5 o'clock dump this evening through CNN. They call Wolf Blitzer and go, hey, can you make this sound good? Because it's not, and we know it's not.
Yeah, I will be interested to see the trends in that. How much audience did you regain at the end of the game?
Oh, I bet you didn't regain anything.
Historically, you don't think people flipped it back on?
Historically, once you're gone, unless a team gets the ball with the chance to tie it because they're on Twitter or they're on Facebook or they're on social media and they see the fans of the team that was trailing go, oh, we're back in it. And that's when they'll flip back over. That never happened.
Gambit fan says this sounds like boxing events that lie about their pay-per-views. Yeah. Or football teams that lie about their sellouts.
Oh, everybody lies
We
about
gave away 7,000 tickets to get the sellout.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every entity lies about sellouts. It's also really easy to cut through because if you find really good deals through Ticketmaster or StubHub or any of those things, it wasn't just some random dude going, you know what, I want to give back to a person I don't know. No, that would be them trying to sell their tickets that they couldn't give away.
Mm-hmm.
It's also why it's really apropos to buy tickets while you're standing in line for an event, as I have done many times.
I used to get a great kick out of the running score or the running tabulation of all of the sellouts for the Carolina Panthers. Do you remember that several years back? They had a streak going of like 70-something straight sellouts. And as someone who works in the media business and is kind of familiar with how many tickets they gave away, not exactly because I'm not in the building, but I know how many we were getting.
Well, we're partners. We don't really count into that. You got to get into that corporate partner spot where that's where you really start seeing. We're media affiliates. If they give us 10, they don't ever have to disclose that to anybody.
Well, you have to claim your seats.
What do you mean?
Right?
No. I mean, when they do their business model at the end of the year, they don't have to declare, hey, we're giving 10 seats to the media affiliates. Now, we gave Pepsi 400 seats to 8 games. Now, that's something you have to declare.
Mm-hmm.
That gets into transactional business, and nobody listening to me right now cares. I could explain it, but I don't want to. And you don't want me to.
Nobody. I was going to say nobody cares. It's fine.
Yeah, that all comes to a meeting they have in a boardroom at the end of the year going, hey, are we trending to the right direction or making money or to the wrong direction? And that's one of those that you can't leave under the shell. You have to pull that one open and go, see, the ball's not under there.
You are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We will continue keeping an eye on all of the coaching moves around the league. There's one move that's been made that, we're going to get to it after the top of the hour break here. Let's just say there's one coach who just can't stop going back home, and one team who just can't say, get the hell out of here. We'll be right back.
Wildfires that ravaged Los Angeles.
Clear.
One of the largest disasters in the history of our country. Now, iHeartRadio is bringing you an historic fundraising event.
The Fire Aid Benefit Concert.
Live in Los Angeles.
Donate today at fireaidla.org.
Join us January 30th.
Listen live to the Hit Nation station on the free iHeartRadio app, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern.
And show your support for the people in need in Los Angeles.
It's a new year, and maybe it's been 6 months or more since your last dental appointment, or maybe you're just looking for the best dentist in Asheville. Well, at Asheville Smiles, Dr. Merrill and the team are dedicated to making 2025 your year to shine. Whether it is routine family care or the latest in cosmetic dentistry, they provide world-class dental care with a hometown heart. It's time to invest in your health and confidence because your smile deserves it. You can schedule your appointment today and learn more at AshevilleSmiles.com. Start the new year with a reason to smile. Again, it's AshevilleSmiles.com.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
Hey, it's Bobby Bones. Join me and former NFL quarterback Matt Castle for our new podcast, Lots to Say with Bobby Bones and Matt Castle. Between us, we have over 17,500 passing yards, multiple New York Times bestsellers, and 1 Mirrorball trophy from Dancing with the Stars. So where else are you going to find a show with that much athleticism and football insight? Listen to Lots to Say with Bobby Bones and Matt Castle on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart.
Open your free iHeart app and search Lots to Say with Bobby Bones and Matt Castle and start listening.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the hardest hit areas in those first hours. Like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
I had a good-looking day today, but one of those cold, kind of deep blue sky, sunny, frigid winter days. Near 30 degrees. Very cold night tonight, down near 12. Single digits in our colder spots. But less wind, so less wind chill, but still a frigid start to Thursday. Some sun with clouds in the afternoon. 38. Friday, sunny, we dip a little bit to about 36. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Don't let data limits hold you back from being the gift master in the family group chat. Switch to Straight Talk Wireless and get real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Straight Talk, available at Walmart or straighttalk.com.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
A new year.
And I'm back in the White House.
A secure border.
Drone threats.
Shut down the government. Is always a news year. Western North Carolina strong.
New journey.
A new chapter.
Something new. Each new day.
In the new year. On News Radio 570 WWNC.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
If one more person tells me Aaron Glenn is
Clorox,
getting the Jets
clean
job
feels satisfying.
and it doesn't
Clean
happen,
feels good.
I think I'm going to
Use
scream.
as direct.
Ingalls Studios. This is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bonus. That's bonus. Enter it now.
You got to get in to win. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go around the world on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that way you can join us in the chat, throw in your super chats and things like that as well. Don't forget to follow us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. Jeremy Green, sometimes in life you have those little annoyances that just won't go away. No matter how many times you try, you just can't find another co-host for your radio show.
Oh, don't undersell yourself.
I'm stuck with you. You're stuck with me, and I'm going to annoy you till the day you die. Sometimes you just can't get rid of people. Right? I mean, it's kind of like me and iHeartRadio, right? I've been let go from iHeartRadio 2 times in my life, and somehow I keep crawling my way back into this door.
You are kind of like a termite infestation. You just keep coming back.
I am. It's me, cockroaches, and Josh McDaniels. Because for the 3rd time in his career, he is signing as the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. 2nd time he's done it after he's absolutely pooed his pants when he got the chance to be a head coach in this league. So now I think the headline of today is not Josh McDaniels reunites with New England. The headline today should be, we now know who drove Robert Kraft to the parlor. It was Josh McDaniels. He was taking him to the Orchids Day Spa, and that's why he keeps getting this job.
Have you ever really dug into what Josh McDaniels has done with quarterbacks not named Tom Brady?
It ain't good.
Because I did. And I've got it in front of me. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
We'll go in reverse order, shall we? Mac Jones. He completed 67.8% of his passes. 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Yards per attempt, 7.3. Rating, 92.5. Average as it gets. Cam Newton, 65.8% completion percentage. 8 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, just under 2,700 yards, 7.2 yards per attempt. Not great. Sam Bradford, 53.5, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 2,100 yards. 31st in DYAR, defensive yards against, I can't remember what the R is. 6.1 yards per attempt.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Orton, 60.5%, 41 touchdowns, 21 interceptions, 7.2 yards per attempt. Matt Castle, 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Do you see a trend?
Yes,
they turn the ball over a lot, and they do not press the ball down the field. Hey, what is the biggest positive of Drake May, and what is the biggest negative? Hey, he turns the ball over too much, and he's really good at pressing the ball down the field.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this hire. I mean, as a Jets fan, love it. Awesome. Great. Let's go. Let's do stuff. New England Patriot football. If I was a Patriot fan, I would despise this with every fiber of my being. Bill worked with Tom. Josh worked with Tom. Mm-hmm. I've never seen them work with anybody else. But Mac Jones made the playoffs. Yep, and got his face mushed the second he got in there. New England Patriot fans, would you sign up for that as that's your high side? Hey, we're going to get in as the 7 3 years from now and get just mushed. No, because you have higher aspirations than that. Mm. You hired Mike Vrabel because he's a winner. He was the best coach on the market, and we're the best job on the market, and we expect to be competitive. About that. I struggled with that through the entire process, that New England's the best job, just solely because they have a quarterback. Mm-hmm. What else do they have? Do they have a receiver that you even kind of feel good about?
No, not by himself.
No. Do they have a running back that you really feel good about? They have big, plotting Ramondre Stevenson, who was a fullback at one point. But we got a bunch of tight ends that are fun. Can we talk about Hunter Henry? Oh.
Do we want to?
Oh. You have to beat Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, and you want to go back to this. I heard this rumor as soon as Vrabel got hired. I just couldn't physically believe he would do it.
Couldn't believe Vrabel would do it?
No, I can't believe Vrabel would do it.
Was Josh there when Vrabel was there? They weren't in the. He came after. Sure.
He was. I don't know if they were ever. I mean, I'm sure they were in the same building because McDaniels was there for a billion years. I mean, he started as like a low-level intern, I think.
In like 2003?
Let's see. Josh McDaniels started with the New England Patriots in 2001 as a personnel assistant. So, yes, they were there.
Okay. So, yeah, they were in the same building.
God, McDaniels was the offensive coordinator in 2006. I didn't realize it was that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, he
was the head coach of the Broncos in 2009, so I guess that shouldn't be that surprising to me.
Right. He got the Denver job in 2009, and then that didn't go well.
No.
Well, I mean, it started well. Remember, he went like 6-0 to start out in Denver, and then proceeded to go 5-20 or something like that.
Josh McDaniels is the definition of the coach that thinks he's smarter than you. What he doesn't realize is that his system has long been overshot in the NFL. I don't get it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't think it's a good fit. I don't think it's a good fit for Drake May. Timothy O'Toole said he hopes they keep Alex Van Pelt as the quarterback's coach to keep some continuity for Drake. What incentive does Alex Van Pelt have to do that? I mean, I get what you're saying. It's just, why would I do that?
It's a head scratcher to me. But there again, should it be? Should it be a head scratcher? Because, I mean, this is now just becoming what Robert Kraft does.
Yeah.
Right? You do it once, and it was, okay, we tried that, and it didn't work. So you handed it over to Gerard Mayo. That didn't work. Now you handed it over to Mike Vrabel. It could work. but you're going to bring back Josh McDaniels. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense in my head.
I'm going to ask you a question. And I don't want you to answer off the jump. I want you to think about it while I explain why I'm asking it.
Okay.
Right now, the difference between Bob Kraft and Jerry Jones is what? And now, I'm going to elaborate on why I asked that. We have railed on Jerry Jones for running a really non-wide spectrum coaching search with a bunch of coaching candidates that didn't really make any sense because he brought in Leslie Frazier, he brought in Kellen Moore, he brought in Robert Saleh, he brought in Brian Schottenheimer. Allegedly, he wants to talk to Jason Witten and Deion Sanders. All right, so we've crucified Jerry for that. Do you know who the New England Patriots interviewed? They interviewed Ben Johnson. It didn't go well. Aaron Glenn straight up said no. They brought in Mike Vrabel. The other two interviews were Byron Leftwich and Pep Hamilton, who aren't even in the NFL right now. It's the same thing. It's the exact same process. The difference is Robert Kraft won a lot of Super Bowls a lot more recently. Mm-hmm. I don't see a ton of difference here. I see an owner that's very comfortable doing things his way. And his way worked when he had the greatest quarterback of all time. Because Jerry Jones' way worked back in the 90s when he had a scouting department and they had absolutely hijacked the Minnesota Vikings on Herschel Walker to build one of the greatest rosters of all time.
Yeah.
He got really lucky.
You hit on that many players in a draft, you better win.
He hit on more players in a 5-year span with the Dallas Cowboys than he've hit in the 30 years since.
Yep.
Do you see how the comparison between these two is not as untoward as it sounds when I first asked it? Because weird, New England's got scouts that, they hit on a lot early on in the Bill years. And then all those guys got dispersed across the NFL, and then it stopped happening. And now it doesn't happen hardly at all. I mean, you look at the highest end players on that team, Christian Gonzalez, any idiot could have made that selection. And I'm not dinging you for it. It's just you had a player that we had in the top 10 that fell in your lap at a position you needed. You got really lucky that Washington took Emmanuel Forbes ahead of him. So that will never not be funny to me. It was funny to me at the time, and I liked Emmanuel Forbes. I'm seeing a trajectory with New England that if something doesn't change, we're going to be talking about Bob Kraft 10 years from now the way we talk about Jerry Jones. Because he went into this search. There's no doubt in my mind. He went in going, I'm hiring Mike Vrabel, period. I don't care what it costs. I don't care what he wants. None of it matters. Ben Johnson could have walked in there and said, this is the job I want, and he still wouldn't have hired him.
Because he just wanted to hearken back to the Patriots fan.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what that was all about? I just have I have very serious doubts. I have very serious doubts that this is going to work. That this is going to bring you back to relevancy at any time soon. Josh McDaniels definitely ain't the way to go.
No.
Mike Vrabel, love him as a coach.
You love him more than I do.
With that decision.
I mean, I think he's fine. I just don't understand why everybody waxes poetic about him.
Because he's a good fired up guy. I mean, he's Wish Dan Campbell, basically.
Of which Wish Dan Campbell has not exactly the real Dan Campbell hasn't exactly gotten you where you wanted to go. So,
well, I mean, it's only been 3 years. We'll give him a minute.
No, I don't disagree.
But Mike Vrabel was the coach that you wanted to play for, right? He was the passionate guy. He was the player's coach. You probably liked him as a player. It was hard not to. And he goes back to New England to bring glory home. I just don't know that Josh McDaniels was the best use of your of your time there. Of course, there again, maybe we're in a situation we don't know. We're not in that building, and we don't know what's being said in these meetings. Maybe it's one of those things that outside forces don't want to be a part of this as much as maybe we think they should, or maybe as much as Patriots fans think they should. If you're trying to keep that Bill culture around, that it wasn't the rosiest of cultures. I mean, sure, he
It
held
worked.
people accountable, and you were good at the fundamentals of football, and you were well prepared, and you had the greatest quarterback of all time, and you were winning games, and you were winning division championships every year, and you were winning Super Bowls on average, every 3 years? Like that's a lot of fun. But when you're not winning, that's when we started to hear the stories. Right? When Tom left town, that's when we started hearing stories about, well, it wasn't everything it was cracked up to be. You know, Tom talking about how, the relationship between him and Bill wasn't great. In fact, what was it? He said he didn't even say goodbye to him when he left. I remember that was a talking point for like a month and a half.
Yeah, and see, and most of those things don't mean a lot to me. What means a lot to me is looking from the outside looking in. Since Bill left, has anything worked in New England? Anything? No. So and I'll even go back to when Tom left. You've kept everything exactly the same. You have tried to cling on to that one bit of relevancy that you had. It was a great dynasty. It's probably the greatest dynasty in the history of the NFL. But the days passed because Tom's gone. And so now you're clinging on to it with everything you have. And you look at the best scouts around the league. Why would I want to work in New England? You're going to try to shoehorn your culture onto me. Your culture is not what you think it is. Your culture has been a big old loser for several years now. And so you hire a coach and a coordinator that just harkens back to that. It feels like a movie sequel, and none of the stars from the first two came back. There's no Bill. There's no Tom. There's no Wes Welker. There's no Rob Gronkowski. Now you get Mina Suvari. Sweet. This will be fun.
It's like remaking Ocean's 11 with Stanley Tucci and Steve Buscemi rather than Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Yay! I'm sure this is going to be witty fun.
And that the Tilton, what's her name? I can't remember her first name.
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton. Yeah, that's invariably she's in this remake.
Yes.
We have 2 super chats before we go into the commercial break.
So good.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Sir Jimothy said, Jeremy, Aaron Glenn is getting the Jets job. I promise we're going to talk about that. We keep putting it off, but we're going to talk about it. And in the break, in the YouTube chat, I said, if I hear that one more time without the announcement, I think I'm going to scream. We also have one more.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
It's from our buddy Bo Walker, said, we're watching almost live. Give a shout out to his new fiance, Karen Penland. We both love you guys. Thanks for the great show. Bo and Karen got engaged.
Nice.
And I'm here on the show.
Congratulations, guys.
And I'm here on the show to declare that is a wedding that I will officiate if I am asked. I will get officiated.
Officiated?
Officiated?
No.
Officialized.
Maybe that's it. I don't think that's it either, but that's what we're going with.
That is a wedding I would officiate, for sure, and I would have a good old time doing it.
I think the word you're looking for is ordained.
No, ordained makes you a minister. I'm not a minister. Adam Black is a minister. He's a good one. I am a jerk. But I can do some officiating. The plurals of this word are very difficult for me.
Officiating. Just like in the NFL.
No, officiating is what Pat Mahomes needs to be as good as he is.
I don't think so.
I worked really hard to get you to say that because I knew you would if I pushed it far enough.
Yep, walking right down the path. Awesome. Well, congratulations, Bo and Karen. Yes, say the word. We'll be there.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
We are here to help any way we can. That's like the official, because I think we've been doing this show about as long as they've been together. I feel like the show has grown with their relationship. It's almost like a living embodiment of our show.
That's a great way to look at that.
I'm a wordsmith.
I hope your marriage lasts way longer than this show. How about that? And I hope this show never ends. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This Medical Minute is brought to you by Haywood Regional Medical Center. Your health means everything to you.
Yeah, we're clear.
And your community. And every minute matters when an emergency puts your health at
Took
risk.
everything I had to say, and I hope there's way more
Get
sex.
the care you need.
Because
the emergency department
anything beats zero.
provides quality care and even higher levels of emergency heart care found in their accredited chest pain center for just that added peace of mind.
You're weird, dude. You're weird, dude.
I didn't say it on air. I held it until
Get to the hospital as soon as you can and get the care that you need now at Haywood Regional Medical Center. Continuing a long-standing tradition of excellence, Haywood Regional Medical Center offers a comprehensive array of services. For more information and to check average ER wait times, visit myhaywoodregional.com. That's myhaywoodregional.com. This has been the Medical Minute, brought to you by Haywood Regional Medical Center.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Dan Scott here, inviting you to check out my new show every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. here on ESPN Asheville, where we bring sports and faith together. The Dan Scott Show, 8 a.m. Sundays on ESPN Asheville.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners.
Oh, by the way,
of
you're going to really enjoy my weird story
Nominate
today.
your community hero at Parks Community Heroes.
Nice.
That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. I'm Tank Spencer, coming to you live from the Ingalls studio. Jeremy Green coming to you from the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor.
Got a lot of stuff coming out over the next few days, preparing for Senior Bowl 2025.
GG Gambling in the YouTube comments says his father got ordained in the ministry of Bob and Bobism and all things Bob. No jokes. He actually paid $50 to the state of Mississippi, and it's an actual legal thing that he can now marry people in the name of Bob.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. That feels very blasphemous. I don't want to do that. I will, however, get a certificate and have a very nice, with a touch of humor, ceremony for anybody that wants me to marry them. Now, why you want me to marry you, I'm not real sure. Unless you just really like to laugh and you want to take pictures and tell people you got married by a Luke Combs impersonator. That I get. People do it with Elvis all the time.
I was going to say you should actually do that. You should show up with the with the flannel shirt and the baseball cap turned around the right way. You might be able to make some money doing that. You could even sing a song as they come down the aisle. You can do a Luke voice.
Oh, I can wear the I wear that Columbia
cream
shirt that he does. Some jeans, couple little boots.
Precisely.
And I will just get hammered out of a red Solo cup while I do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was born for this role, really.
I'm going to come up with a snazzy name for it, too. We'll work on that. We'll workshop it in the YouTube comments.
That's a good one.
Anyhow, back here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Did you have any more lingering thoughts on Josh McDaniel?
No, don't like it. But New England fans, hope it works out for you. I would also be remiss if I didn't point out, look at the history of guys going back to where they came from. It doesn't tend to end well.
Well, I mean, going back launched Josh McDaniels into another failed attempt at being a head coach. So maybe third time's a charm here. Maybe the third opportunity he gets won't be one of the worst coaching stints in that team's history. Hasn't worked out so far for the Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos, but maybe for the next victim. He worked his way from the Denver Broncos down to the Raiders. I guess the Jaguars is the only step below that. So whoever gets hired by Jacksonville this year, when they get fired in 2 years, Josh McDaniel will have another opportunity to be a head coach.
Just a little bit of information that I did some digging on this, and I'd be remiss if I didn't get it in here.
Yeah.
Andy Reid is a retread NFL head coach. Coach that was a head coach somewhere else, got a second opportunity with the Chiefs. Yep. Do you know who the second longest tenured retread coach in the NFL is? There's not a ton of them, just so you know.
Bill Parcells?
No. Active coach.
Oh, active coach.
Coach that's been with his team the longest, that is on his second stint as an NFL head coach.
It's not coming to my mind.
It should, because he's your coach. Todd Bowles.
Oh, Todd.
That's the longest tenured outside of Andy Reid retread coach in the NFL. And his career regular season record is 53-65. And in the playoffs, he's 54-68. Woo! Doing stuff.
Yeah. Fun stuff, which to me is just more of a sign that maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe you should. Once a coach proves he can't do it, maybe he doesn't get another shot.
I'm not a fan of hiring retread coaches. Virtually
Andy Reid
ever.
was completely different because I mean he was a championship coach, right, at his old job, conference championship, but still championship coach. If you failed in one spot, chances are you're going to fail some in the next spot.
Andy Reid was a different bird because he was 37 games over 500 with Philadelphia. It wasn't really a failure. He had just been there a long time, and it had peaked. He'd been there 13 years.
Well, and it had waned, right? I mean, when he got fired, they were not great.
They were 4-12 the year he got fired.
4-12, yeah. That's even worse than I thought it was. I thought it was more like a 6-win team.
He had a 6-win season in 2005. He had a 5-11 year his first year. Other than that, they won 8 or more games every season he was in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. They were a nightmare. They were a nightmare to play. I mean, unless you played them in the NFC Championship game. And then, hey, wah-wah-wee-wah.
He lost a grand total. If I remember the stat correctly, I believe he lost 32 games in 5 years, and 30 games in 5 years, and 5 of them were in the playoffs.
Yep, that sounds about right. Just couldn't get over that hump. You did once, and then you lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
We had a couple questions about position coaches, coordinators, things like that. Tyson Carter asked about Terrell Williams as the defense coordinator of the Patriots. He's coming over from the Lions, I think. He's really well respected. I don't know a ton about him, but everybody I talked to said it was a really good hire. So I'll dig a little deeper into that. That was not a name that was on he wasn't really on my bingo card for this year, and I don't know him. So I hate to cop out, but Tyson, give me like a day, and I'll dig into that a little deeper. And John Carmen asked about offensive coordinator for the Seahawks. That's going to be Clint Kubiak. Unless something changes tremendously from I think that was over the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Signed, sealed, and delivered.
It's not done yet, but it will be.
Yep.
They were still doing other interviews. I know they'd talked to Hank Fraley, who it looks like is going to be the OC for being in Chicago. They talked to somebody else, and now I can't remember who it was. Thomas Brown. He was the other contender for this. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And Grant Adinsky, who's the assistant offensive coordinator for the Vikings. There's a great chance if Josh McCown gets an OC job somewhere that Udinsky would be going with him.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll keep an eye on all of it here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll be right back.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner.
Clear.
Thank you.
ESPN Asheville.
I had a good-looking day today, but one of those cold, kind of deep blue sky, sunny, frigid winter days. Near 30 degrees. Very cold night tonight, down near 12. Single digits in our colder spots. But less wind, so less wind chill, but still a frigid start to Thursday. Some sun with clouds in the afternoon. 38. Friday, sunny, we dip a little bit to about 36. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure
we
it
have
out.
breaking news after
answering
Weird.
the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here. Are you excited? The right way. Fair.
It has nothing to do with
and
me.
local. Oh, okay. Oh, brothers, 316-1013. 316-1013.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and Jeremy, you watch a lot of cop shows.
I do.
A lot of detective stuff. True
I just
crime.
started The Agency. Mm-hmm. It's that Paramount Plus thing with I never can remember his name, Michael Fassbender or something like that. The guy that played in X-Men.
Yes, the guy that played Magneto.
It's also got Richard Gere and. We also watched that Cameron Diaz, Jamie Foxx. It's like a family movie. It's on Netflix. It's pretty good. It's also the first movie Cameron Diaz has done in 11 years.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I knew it'd been a minute. I didn't realize it'd been that long.
Yeah, 11 years. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Well, in your cop shows, in your drama shows, whatever it is you're watching, you ever seen a story about a case where, the evidence kind of lightly points the detectives and such to a possible suspect, and then they just go, nope, that's our guy, and then they're done, and then they quit, and they try to pin whatever crime on said person because it's the easiest thing to do. I'm thinking
that does happen in shows.
Right.
Usually in real life, I have a lot of cop friends, and they've all told me what I'm getting ready to say. Yeah. 99 times out of 100, we know exactly who did it. It's just a question of, can I prove it? Because I can't get on a stand and go, come on. Come on.
Look at it.
He did it.
He did it.
I know he did it. You know he did it. Right. You got to have some kind of evidence.
Well, look, sometimes they're wrong, right? Sometimes the police get it wrong. And in this case, they got it wrong. So this is a story from the UK, North London. It's the story's about a guy named Brent Naylor. And Brent was minding his own business one day at home, just chilling. And he got a knock on the front door. And it was the Metropolitan Police. And the Metropolitan Police said, "You're coming with us." And he said, well, wait a minute, I didn't do anything. Well, come to find out that there was an incident, let's call it an indecent exposure incident, on a bus in town. And the person on the footage on the bus was doing indecent things toward a woman who was riding the bus.
Showing things to people that don't want to see things. That's the definition of indecent exposure.
He was more than showing. He was vigorously showing.
Oh, don't ever show vigorously. That's even if it was asked for, that's not something you want to do.
Well, they had no idea who this guy was, but they did have the CCTV images. So they go by that. Apparently they, put it out on the news. And they got a random call from somebody who said that they thought that it was this Brent Naylor guy. They go to Brent Naylor's house, knock on the door, and like I said, you're coming with us. Despite the fact that he doesn't really look anything like the person on the footage on the bus. The only similarities between them is their noses are kind of shaped the same, and they do have similar facial hairstyles, kind of that... the kind of goatee like I have, only much better than mine and much thicker, and you could see it from a distance.
I was about to say, thicker than yours is not really.
It's not. No,
it's not setting the bar very high.
It's not. This is a big problem though. This guy was much taller than Mr. Naylor, and he's fat. And Mr. Naylor describes himself as, "I'm the skinniest person on the planet," and I don't understand how they couldn't see that we weren't the same person. He was held in custody for 7 hours, Until finally a senior officer went, wait a minute, guys. This guy doesn't look anything like that guy. They ended up letting him go, but since then, could you imagine what that guy's personal life has been like? He has been, because he was arrested out in front of the whole neighborhood, so he has been ostracized from the neighborhood. He has been, as he says, personally attacked. Apparently, sometime around Christmas this year, he was beaten with a beer bottle of sorts. He was evicted from his home, and his favorite pub put him on the watch list, basically, or the do not serve list.
Oh, that's always bad. I've never been on that list, but I know people that have.
Yeah, banned from his neighborhood bar. Anyway, they finally sorted it all out. Lawyers got involved and such. 7 hours of commercial-free prison time and being ostracized in your community. What's that worth to you in a settlement?
It's the U.S. judicial system, so it's going to be.
No, it's the UK.
Oh, okay. In the UK, they probably tell you to pound sand more. $8.
It's not too. You're not too far off. It's $5,000. Like, I feel like if this had happened in America, that's $1 million lawsuit. No doubt. No doubt about it.
I mean,
kind of makes you envious of the UK system.
Well, it's funny you said that.
One account.
It's funny you said that because my story is also about the judicial system. The Colorado Supreme Court has clarified something that I can't believe anybody really needed clarified. Elephants are not people. Thank you for.
Yep.
In other breaking news, water's wet. Today's Wednesday.
Well, I mean, there was that one girl I dated.
Oh boy, the Non-Human Rights Project brought a case to the Colorado Supreme Court trying to win the release of Missy, Kimba, Lucky, Lulu, and Jambo. Those are 5 elephants.
My girlfriend's name, too.
You're not making this better. That's 5 elephants in the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo in Colorado Springs. Their argument was that zoos are the equivalent of elephant prisons. So, according to the law of the land, a prisoner is allowed to object to their imprisonment. There's only one problem. That's for people. Mm-hmm. Elephants aren't people. The elephant didn't walk up to you and go, hey, I'd really like to not be in here. No, instead we got some group of, I'm going to say this is a lot of people named Strawberry and Moonbeam and different things of that nature. No. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say if I had ever gone out on a date and at some point on the first date, the young lady looked at me and said, I'm a member of the Non-Human Rights Project, I would have gone, check, please. Can I get the check? Because this needs not to go no further.
You don't stand up for non-human rights?
I'm not to the point that I'm going to join the Non-Human Rights Project.
Mm-hmm.
I worry way more about human rights than about an elephant that's sitting here going, they feed me 5 times a day, right? Nothing's trying to kill me in here. I'm just hanging out. I grab some water in my snoot. I bathe myself. People throw peanuts at me. It's a great life. I really wish you'd take your non-human rights project somewhere else. Because I don't know if you know about my cousin. I'm trying to think of a random elephant name. We'll go Moonbeam, just because I said that. He's still out in the wild. It's not nearly as easy of a life. Nobody feeds him peanuts because he showers himself. Matter of fact, other animals try to kill him.
Gambit fan says, what did they do? Raise their trunk like they were in school and say, hey, can I leave, please? Is it time for me to go now?
I'm through shower.
Zoo now.
I'm through snooting water now. Can I go back to the wild, please?
Now we're just going to open this door, and if he walks through the door, that's the admission that he doesn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, this is a great time for me to say that if I hope for anything out of the next 4 years, it's that courts will stop asking questions that are answering questions that no one asked. Hey, are elephants people? No. And I just saved the taxpayers of the state of Colorado hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're welcome.
Yeah. Can I leave the zoo now? I can't get that out of my head.
Can I be through snooting water now? I would rather go chase gazelles. Did the elephant tell you that's what he wanted? That's what I really want them to say. Is what were the names again? I lost the names. Lulu told me that he really wants to be back out in wherever. I don't even know where elephants come from. The desert somewhere. He said he really wanted to be back out there, as opposed to in the climate-controlled air conditioning of inside there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he does. I don't know. And you know what? Neither do you. I've always thought that would be a fun Disney Pixar movie, to try to get the next generation to really understand shut the hell up, is have a cartoon movie of all the animals that are just going, hey, could you shut up, please? They feed me all the time. I don't do squat. I just sit here on a rock, sunbathing myself, and they throw me flakes of meat.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty sweet gig.
From the outside, it looks like a pretty sweet gig. Yes.
I could be hanging out at Mike Tyson's house. That doesn't look like fun. Go fight that. I'm good. Y'all just go now get.
All right, we have a super chat here.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Is it from Lucky or Jambo to stand up and say, hey, leave me in this zoo, because it's totally cool.
It is not. It is not. This is from Karen, and Karen says September 27th. They're not getting a license. They want to do it in front of God and family and friends. So if you want to officiate, they would love that.
In.
There you go.
I'm in. I'll even put on a suit for that, which I haven't done in a long time. I might even break out one of the old ties.
We have a date then, September 27th.
I have.
Congratulations!
I bet I have no less than $4,000 in ties that have not come out of the closet.
Although I will throw this out there though, Bo and Karen, y'all are big football fans. Why are you getting married during football season? Don't we talk about this all the time? Right, the rude friends that get married during the football season. Is that going to be like in the middle of a Georgia game that you're going to make people mad? Like, have you made sure that NC State's not playing during your wedding on September 27th? Because I don't even know if Bo would show up if NC State was playing during that game, during that wedding.
We have double breaking news.
Oh!
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
I will do it in the order that it was newsed into Mullet Manor. The first one's from Adam Schefter. A new leader in Las Vegas. The Raiders are finalizing a deal to hire Buccaneers assistant GM John Spytek as their new general manager.
That had been rumored for a while.
Yes, that was always happening. Now the question is, what does that mean for the coaching search? And I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know. There was a rumor that him and Ben Johnson were close.
Mm-hmm.
I have not heard.
Together.
Do what now?
They were in Detroit together. Spytek used to be in Detroit before he came to Tampa.
I'm just looking at the list going, I don't see a crossover with anybody they have interviewed. And I really don't mean to rain on Raider parades, but if I'm just based off history, I would think that leads to a defensive guy.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know which one it would be. But that would be totally spitballing. Here's what I do know, because we have more breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
Now, Tank, this is the one that you were looking for. A new coach in New York. The New York Jets are hiring former Lions defensive coordinator and former New York Jet first-round pick Aaron Glenn as their new head coach.
That is the news we've been waiting on. It's not the news I wanted you to say.
Why?
Because I really wanted this just to be something that was going to send you over the moon.
Oh,
I
no.
really wanted this to be like, Byron Leftwich.
No, it was never going to be that. Look, the Jets, they cast a wide net. I think Aaron Glenn I think he was the second best coach out there. And I told you this. You were so locked in on the Patriots and all these other jobs. Look, the Jets have more talent than any of these other teams.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what will be interesting is what can Aaron Glenn do with the amount of talent he will now have with the Jets. Because now you got secondary players that you have never had before.
Yep.
And DJ Reed's a free agent, but Sauce Gardner's not.
Well, I mean, he had great secondary players when he was in New Orleans.
He did.
Right, he did.
And that defense was pretty good.
Detroit. Oh, they were killer.
Mm-hmm. I think he's a really good coach. I think he's a really good players coach. The only thing that I don't really understand is I feel like you have now done the exact same thing you just fired.
Pretty much.
The difference between Aaron Glenn and Robert Saleh is what exactly? One of them played here and the other one didn't. They're both good, young, up-and-coming, talented coaches that are very well respected around the industry.
How's your offense going to change? That's the bigger question.
Well,
that's the
biggest question for Aaron Glenn. I mean, I feel like that was the whole interview. Hey, we know what you do with defense. You're about to have more talent than you've ever had before. We're fine there. Now, what's your plan for the offense? Because yikes.
And apparently Josh McDaniels is off the board, so God knows what they're going to do with the offensive coordinator position.
It's so funny for me. For me, this is, as a Jets fan, Aaron Glenn was the first-round pick that I saw as a Jet fan, and now he's the head coach of the Jets.
That's cool.
I always loved him as a player. He was such a consistent, especially when in those really bad years, he was one of the players you could look at and go, that dude's a dog. And I always hated how it kind of ended in his playing days because they exposed him into the franchise draft, the expansion draft. Then he went to Houston, came back as a personnel scout for the Jets, and now he is their new head coach. I like it a lot better than Matt Nagy, I can tell you that much.
Yes.
Matt Nagy would have led me to saying things that I don't know that I could have come back from.
Well, I mean, you're not out of the woods yet because Matt Nagy could be your offensive coordinator.
I don't know exactly who's going to be the offensive coordinator. This does tell me that Lance Newmark is going to be the GM. And I won't be shocked if that's announced as soon as the Washington season's over.
Mm-hmm.
But Aaron Glenn was one of the prizes on this in this hiring cycle. The Jets get him. I'm good. A name I was told, and just do with this what you will, Deuce Staley. Watch for him to have some kind of role with the Jets.
Okay. They had some crossover in New Orleans, I'm guessing?
They had some crossover in New Orleans and Detroit.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Staley was on that staff as well. Now, see that I wouldn't hate. Put Deuce Staley in charge of that running game.
I'm a fan of anybody that is going to really fixate on that running game. Because I look at Breece Hall and Braylon Allen and go, I don't see a lot of tandems better than that. There's some that are as good, but I'm not. I don't necessarily think there are a ton that are better.
Yeah. Could be one of the best in the league if you get the right coaches in there. Now you've got hopefully a head coach that you can trust. Now you got to rely on him to bring in the offensive coordinator. Deuce Staley. That's already number one on my list. I haven't heard a better option yet.
Josh McCown's a name I've heard. I've heard a lot of names. And look for that staff to be filled out pretty quickly because he was already really going down that rabbit hole last night. That's why I started this show with RELAX. Of course they left. They weren't going to sleep there. Now the agents have taken over to get the contract details settled. He's still in New Jersey right now.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll be right back.
This is a story of the
Clear
maintenance specialist for university housing. He knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Kevin Hart here for DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your nature-made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford, Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community heroes, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Nominate your Parks Community hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
I had a good-looking day today, but one of those cold, kind of deep blue sky, sunny, frigid winter days. Near 30 degrees. Very cold night tonight, down near 12. Single digits in our colder spots. But less wind, so less wind chill, but still a frigid start to Thursday. Some sun with clouds in the afternoon. 38. Friday, sunny, we dip a little bit to about 36. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
I'm Mark Starling, and this Medical Minute is brought to you by Haywood Regional Medical Center. Your health means everything to you, your family, and your community. And every minute matters when an emergency puts your health at risk. That's why it's so important to get to the hospital and get the care you need as soon as possible. The emergency department at Haywood Regional Medical Center provides quality care and even higher levels of emergency heart care found in their accredited chest pain center for just that added peace of mind. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Remember, when an emergency strikes, don't make your health wait. Get to the hospital as soon as you can and get the care that you need now at Haywood Regional Medical Center.
You heard from Mark. Did Mark do his show this morning?
Haywood Regional Medical.
Yeah.
Array of services.
Yeah, they're just waiting.
ER wait times, visit myhaywoodregional.com. That's myhaywoodregional.com. This has been the Medical Minute, brought to you by Haywood Regional Medical Center.
FEMA funding is available to support
Yeah.
and bridges, even if your primary home is not.
I tried to tell him to stop. I said, look, dude, if you think it's going to happen today or tomorrow, you just need to take off. Just nobody's pressuring you to do this show right now.
On the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN.
I couldn't do it. Nope.
EK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now.
You got to get in to win. Go to ESPNAVL.com, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
And we are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that way you can join us in the chat each and every day. Don't forget to follow us on the social medias as well, at The Sportsocracy. Also, while you're at the Sportsocracy.com, or I guess on any of the social medias, you can find the links for the new Patreon for NFLDraft.net. Jeremy's been working hard on it, trying to put together basically the Bible for this year's NFL draft, the draft prospectus, if you will.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of, over the next handful of days, we'll have a lot of rankings going up on the website. I'm working on receivers and tight ends tonight. I think it's corners and safeties tomorrow, edge rushers Friday. Then we get into the interior guys, offensive line, defensive line, and linebackers. I think our last one on Monday. So we're putting up just informational stuff about each one of these guys. And Bill Workman's doing great work on some deep dives. My deep dives will be coming out a little bit later. I'm doing film breakdowns right now. It's full on draftmas season. The draftmas season is upon us. And go subscribe to the NFLDraft.net YouTube page. That will be your home for all things draft this year.
Mm-hmm. Now, I do want to ask you this question, Jeremy, because I'm just kind of interested in your process, right? So when you start out and you have all of these prospects to look at, we use the term in the news business a lot about it's like drinking from a fire hose. You don't really know where to start because there's so many A stories right now in the news cycle. So when you do your assessments, right, your analysis of all of these guys, do you just pick up a name and go watch that tape, or do you go in order? Are you OCD like me? Like you have to go, okay, number one is the first guy that we're going to do. Number two is the next guy we're going to do. Or do you, or are you more random?
So on the YouTube chat, you can see, you see that binder right there? That's notes from the 2025 season, or 2024 season. that lives in my desk. So I watch a lot of college football. DC Streams helps with that because I can watch 4 games at a time. I had a watch list coming into the season, and I just kind of go down the rabbit hole. Then we get to this point, and one of my favorite – the reason that I make such a big deal out of going to the Senior Bowl is this is such a great evaluation tool for day 2. The first round, I'm comfortable with. I put out a first-round mock draft right now. My top 32 prospects, nothing's changing. Yeah, you remember this from last year. Xavier Worthy runs a 4.22. I don't care. Or 4.21 or whatever it was he ran. I don't care. It doesn't change anything from the tape. Now, on the second day, that's a little different. And so I really dive into the Senior Bowl for about 2 weeks. And those of you that are on the Patreon, you're going to get a lot of content from Mobile. Because I think it's a great evaluation tool. Then I dig into the Shrine Bowl and the Hula Bowl, which I'm not at on site. And that really starts to build out a lot of day 3. I have them tiered out right now. To get into the rankings, I need those final evaluation tools.
Right. Okay.
That's the reason the top 25 is on the website right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not likely to change. You might see one spot of movement in the next 3 months, but it's not super likely.
Because I'm more of a when I start trying to do some legwork, I don't do as much legwork, obviously, as you do, and thankfully you do most of the legwork for me on a bunch of these guys. But when I start doing some of my novice scouting, I go for names that I don't know. Right, like I look down the list and I go Shedeur Sanders, all of the top guys, Travis Hunter. I've seen all those guys play. I know a lot about those guys. I always try to start with the guys that I don't know.
I'll give you a story.
And usually the chat helps me out during our live chats when some of our House of Reprehensibles are asking about, hey, what about this guy? I go, oh, I've never heard that name. Let me write that down.
I always knew that the chat and the people that watch this show were super talented. I don't think I realized how talented they were until I started doing this, and I started getting people saying, hey, I can do blank. And we've got, Evan Doyle that's a really talented editor. We've got Jonathan Welch that's a really talented writer. Bill Workman that's a really talented scout. I'm building a whole business here out of the community. So, and I'm fine with that. Look, somebody took a chance on me 15 years ago, and that's why I'm here. So,
hey, it worked for the Chainsaw Brothers. It worked for you.
For sure.
You just build a business with it, with what you got. So people you got around you.
I will tell you a story about a player, and it's a guy that probably not a lot of you know unless you're as nerdy as I am. And his name's Torrey Horton. He's a wide receiver out of Colorado State. Over the course of, and I'm going to have to pull up game logs to get exact stats because I love him. I'm not Tito and McMillan on him. I got a message about Torrey Horton, I believe it was 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, there's a kid that when he comes out into the draft, you're really going to want to lock in on. And it was 4 years ago because he was at Nevada whenever I got that message. It was just from somebody I know in the industry that we tend to see players pretty similarly. He messaged me about this kid. He had 50 catches, 52 for 659, 5 touchdowns at Nevada. He transferred to Colorado State. He got hurt this year, and so people are going to forget about him. I am going to scream about this kid from the rooftops. My objective is to get him on in an interview. I've never had access to guys like that the way that I do now. That's what that's where I'm at now. Is everything I know about them personally tends to be from second-hand accounting, or something I see in the hotel in the lobby of a hotel. I don't have deep dives. That's what I'm hoping to do now. Tape's tape.
As we go through the... Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of football. It's why I love it so much. Tape is tape. I've really never understood why it's... I understand why people don't want to do the tedium. I don't understand how people see things differently, not necessarily than I do. I just mean in general. The tape is the tape. Jalen Milroe's late all the time.
Right. How can we watch the same tape and not come up with the same conclusion?
Mm-hmm. I've never really understood that.
Mm-hmm. Some people see different things. Some people see things that they might be able to fix out of prospects that others wouldn't be able to, I guess.
Well, I mean there are certain tenets that are really easy to see. Now, how much you like a guy, that I understand. You get swayed by personal bias. I don't have any of that. That is something I worry about in getting to know guys, is that I will have personal bias.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, my personal bias has been pretty accurate because the one that I really got swayed by was Amon-Ra St. Brown. That worked out nicely.
Yes.
Because the more you find out about him, the more you went, that kid's not going to fail under any circumstances. Did I think he would be a top 5 receiver in the NFL? That was probably even a little higher than I thought.
But some guys you can just tell. Some guys you can tell they have the talent, and then when you get to know them personally, or to get to learn, not necessarily know them personally, but get to learn more about them personally, it's hard. It's hard not to get swayed by those things. You know, Amon-Ra is a perfect example of a guy that, you know, I was high on him because you were high on him, and you made sure that I knew how good he was coming into this league, and then I saw the behind the scenes, right? And then I saw, which wasn't even really behind the scenes because it was in the documentary, in that wide receiver show that Netflix did. And when you get to see his like daily process and figure out how he prepares himself and things like that, like there are certain things about guys that you can see that go, that guy's a winner. I know whatever it is, that guy's going to succeed because it's a mindset thing. And then you have other guys like Caleb Williams that the talent may be there. I'm not so sure about that personal side.
Well, I mean, nobody gets here that doesn't have talent. And I hope that's – if there's one – when I was recording the manifesto that will come out, let's see, I believe I scheduled that to come out the Sunday of the Super Bowl, the Sunday before the Super Bowl. So it's after the Senior Bowl. It's not really a specific talk about players, but it'll be on the Patreon. It's a long video just kind of explaining what it is I look for, what examples of the past of guys that things that I've seen that made me really believe in a player. I'm watching NFL Network right now on the big screen in Mullet Manor. Josh Allen, he's a great example. I loved that kid coming out. I didn't have the huevos to take him in the top 8 because I loved Darnold. Mm-hmm. But he was my number 2 quarterback in that class. I didn't like Baker, I didn't like Rosen, and I didn't like Lamar Jackson. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Mm-hmm.
And before you tell me I'm wrong on Baker, 4 teams in 5 years. Scoreboard.
Well, sometimes guys take a little while to find their foothold.
Yeah, name me one.
Maybe
Name me
Baker's
a league
found
quarterback
his
takes a little while to find their foothold. You say the same thing about Darnold. I just find
Darnold.
I took the words right out of your mouth. I said it before you did. Yeah. I find it funny that people use that against Sam and then try to use it against me on Baker Mayfield. Pick a lane. I don't care which lane it is. You want to stick to Baker? That's fine. But you're gonna give me Sam too.
I'm gonna make that stat say whatever I want it to say.
I don't care which way you go. I'll give you Baker. You're giving me Sam. You can't have it both ways.
Yes. Again, one good year doesn't erase all of it.
Game at Fan said Jared Goff. Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl with the Rams. Jared Goff was a Pro Bowler with the Rams.
Yeah, he did stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He did stuff before the crash that got him kicked out of town. And then they found a quarterback that actually could win him a Super Bowl.
Yes.
And who knows? Maybe Garf has that in him. Maybe Garf can get Dan Campbell to the promised land.
That's an interesting.
Now I look at. I was gonna say now I look at Detroit and go, I wonder if there's a step back coming here. You had Ben Johnson, you had Aaron Glenn. Now they're both gone. I mean, I still feel good about the team. It's one of the most talented teams in the NFL.
Well, I'm intrigued what the staff looks like.
Find to fill those slots.
It will be intriguing to me to see what the staff looks like. Now you lose both your coordinators. Are you able to keep obviously you're not going to have as good of a play caller, but can you keep the offense together in some shape, form, or fashion? Looks like they're going to lose Hank Fraley, too. No telling what's going to come off the staff going with Aaron Glenn to the Jets. That's a lot of turnover. So now you're going to get to see the real onus put on Dan Campbell of, okay, you hired really well one time. Can you do it again?
Yep. You can, how many times does one guy strike gold is the question. They often say lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice. But when you're just that damn good, you make it happen. And now this is the question. Is Dan Campbell that good as a head coach? Is he as good as we think he is?
I think so, but that goes back to what we originally said. One of the beauties of Dan Campbell is that he hired insanely well. He gave 2 first-time coordinators their shot. Only a few years later, both of those coordinators are getting head coaching jobs in the NFL, and they were the 2 most sought-after targets in this coaching cycle. That tells you a lot. Now, if you go do that again, then you're as good as we all think you are, and maybe even better.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance...
We're clear.
Historic high-rise knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention, which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you're in the thick of a project, Harbor Freight is the place that always...
We're still on the screen, did you know?
Picking up something for your pickup.
I didn't. There's something going on with the audio. I don't know if it's because you got one of your cans off, but there's an echo.
These days, when everything seems to cost more,
I can hear myself as I'm talking.
You get hardworking tools at hardworking prices. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
But to answer your question, no, I did not know that.
Okay.
FEMA funding is available.
Yeah, it's got to be from your headphones because I can't hear it right now.
Bridges, even if your primary home is not damaged. Volunteer organizations may also be able to help.
I think where you have one of your cans off, it's being picked up by your microphone, and I can hear it.
Maybe.
3362. Again, FEMA funding is available to support repairs on private roads and bridges, even if your primary home is not damaged. Call 1-800-621-3362.
We're starting 2025 with insanely clean carpets from Zero Res. Call to get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119.
Thank you, Stephen.
In ESPN Asheville.
Stephen says he doesn't hear an echo on their end.
Online at zeroresasheville.com.
Oh, no, this is solely on my end because I'm wearing like super high-end headphones. What I was saying is it's really screwing me up because I'm hearing myself about a tenth of a second after I say it.
Yeah.
This really just happened? Oh, I'm shocked.
I'm not feeding you back to you, so that's not it. Huh.
Oh, no, it's an echo. It's coming from somewhere in that room.
Yeah.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying.
Okay.
Use as directed.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Just visit Ingalls-Markets.com. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors. I got a text message from the CBS crew. They're coming back next week. So,
not just a chainsaw, but just
for what?
In general, when you live in these mountains, you figure it out.
Well, they want to do some follow-up Hurricane Helene stories. The Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
The Sportsocracy.
You two are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer, live in the Ingles studio. Jeremy Green at the NFLDraft.net. Mullet Manor. We had to name Mullet Manor after NFLDraft.net, not only so I could keep saying NFLDraft.net, but, I mean, that's basically the only thing that's happening in your house from now until the draft, isn't it?
My wife told me earlier, she said, we have been working from home for a full week, and I think I've seen you less this week than I've seen you any week since this week last year, before you left for the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, that's kind of the name of the game. If you're gonna analyze and break down 700 prospects for the NFL draft, then yeah, you gotta put the time in.
Yeah, you want to know what that schedule looks like? Because I'll tell you. I finally fell asleep last night. Sometime after 5, I was back in this chair at 7:30 this morning.
Wow.
That's been about the – so to all the people that say, you look tired, it's not because I'm about to pull my hair out. It's because this is the toughest 3-week stretch of the year for me, because all the teams that are out want to start talking about the offseason. All the teams that are in want to talk about the Super Bowl, and so I'm doing both at the same time. Then the Super Bowl wanes, and now I can focus on this exclusively.
Yep. And now that you've got coaches getting hired left and right in the NFL, then you're going to have more and more teams and more fan bases that are going to be ready to focus on the draft. Focus on what are we going to pick up for next season. Meanwhile, you still have everybody playing. Of course, it's not as stupid as college football where we're just signing guys while the playoffs are going on. It's still one of the funnier things to me. How do we do this? How do we get to this situation where we're making roster moves while the season's still actively happening?
Well, I mean, that happens. You get future contracts and things like that. You're allowed to sign those. If I remember correctly, at 48 hours from the end of your season to sign the guys on your practice squad to future deals. I mean, yeah, you got a lot of stuff happening. But, I mean, you got to remember there's 28 other teams. We are a predominantly football show. And when I say predominantly, I mean 99.7%. We talk about the other 0.3% is making fun of the NBA and college baseball and baseball and college basketball. Still love our Tar Heels, even though.
Yeah.
How many 1-point losses do they have this year? I can think of 3.
More than their share. That is for sure. It's not rosy times in Chapel Hill right now as far as the basketball team goes, but hopefully that'll all change when Bill Belichick starts winning football games, because that's the only path out we can see right now. So Ben Johnson, we told you yesterday, he's got the Chicago job. He did the the official appearance yesterday in the building. Did you see his little pep talk for the for the staff that Adam Schefter put out there?
I did.
I do love the fact that he's throwing playoffs out there right away. Like, let's just jump right in both feet.
Well, I mean, in fairness, that team should be in the playoffs next year. Because if you just look up and down the NFC, all right, let's just have a little aside about where we're at in the NFC. How many teams do you feel good about a year from now? Philadelphia's been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams could have a new quarterback. I don't think they will, but they might.
Yep.
San Francisco's obviously very down.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying they'll stay that way forever, but it feels like they're not quite there. The NFC South is going to get one team. I don't see any way around it.
Yep.
Probably a good chance of regression for Minnesota. Pretty decent chance of regression for Green Bay. Pretty decent chance of regression for Detroit. You look up and down the NFC, there's not a lot of things you can hang your hat on. I mean, for me, it's the two teams left. It's Philadelphia and Washington.
At the top, yes.
Can I tell you an incredible stat about Jaden Daniels that I just learned not 5 seconds ago?
Sure.
Jaden is the 6th rookie quarterback to start in a conference championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Their team defense, in terms of team scoring points allowed per game, is 18th in the NFL. What was the lowest any of the other 5 were ranked? It was Mark Sanchez, Brock Purdy. I can't remember all 5 of the others.
I'll say 6.
3rd. You had 3 firsts and 2 thirds. Jaden Daniels is 18th.
Yep.
Man, that kid's special. That kid is he's just special. That's all there is to it.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. I wonder if Ben has second thoughts about that private time, Obviously, he would never admit it to anybody. I think I'd have to think about it, though. That'd been running through my mind as I was watching him on the sidelines during that game going, I could have been his coach.
Yep, I could have done that. I thought that. As soon as he took the Bears job, that was all I could think about was, man, this would be a lot more fun if you'd taken the right quarterback. If you'd listened to that idiot draft analyst from the city I'm from, I'd be a lot happier about taking this job.
Yep, but in that scenario,
probably wouldn't have had a job to take.
Exactly. Matt Eberflus probably wouldn't have got fired if Jaden Daniels had been in Chicago. But, as we say, best of luck to Ben. Hopefully he can turn around the Chicago Bears. Your New York Jets picking up Aaron Glenn today as their new head coach. The next job off the board is going to be which one?
I think the Raiders are taking their time because they have the GM now. So now the GM can really have a say in the coach, hands-on in the decision making, because I don't think they're that far down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me think that it might be a guy who's still playing. I will say the next job filled is. It really depends on Joe Brady. It also depends on how New Orleans feels about Joe Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like he's in play for the 3 jobs that are left that aren't the Cowboys. I think he's in play for the Jaguars, the Saints, and the Raiders. I will say it's the Jaguars, and I'll say it's Robert Saleh. I've thought that the whole time. That was the name that it just seemed like everybody that's really consistently right kept telling me.
And how will that be for the Jaguars?
Oh, well, look, I mean, one of the biggest problems that Jacksonville has is that the defense was just absolutely terrible. Rob he's going to bring a force of a defense anywhere he goes. He's been successful every place he's ever been defensively. The question is, what does he bring offensively? And the answer is, I don't know. I have heard that maybe it's not as guaranteed that Mike LaFleur would be going with him.
Wouldn't be if I was there, but I'm not there.
I don't think Mike was a bad OC. I think he was put in a very bad situation of you got a first-time play caller with a first-time head coach with a rookie quarterback, and that system is a little complex, and Zach Wilson just never picked it up.
Yeah.
Ben Whitley asked, what kind of defense does Saleh run? You're going to play four-man front, and your corners are going to play sides. You're going to play a considerable amount of zone. And the infuriating thing about Saleh was that they gave up a ton of 3rd and 8+. Like, if you watch the game and you take the stats out of it, that's what got him fired, was that they couldn't stop doing that. Mm-hmm. But in terms of a coach, I mean, I can't name you a lot of guys in this cycle that I like better than Rob Saleh.
Okay, so might be a good hire for Jacksonville. They'll just still have to figure out who can bring Trevor along.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing for all these guys. I mean, just look at the guys that have already been hired. Ben Johnson, I feel pretty sure, is going to be able to improve that offense by leaps and bounds. Mm-hmm. I need the defense to stay at least as good as it is, if not improve decently. And I need somebody that can improve my offensive line. Well, just in the two hires that I already know about, Hank Fraley's going to be your offensive coordinator, and Dennis Allen's going to be your defensive coordinator. Ben, it appears to me that you're hiring quite well, my friend. Aaron Glenn, that's the biggest question with him taking the Jets. Who's going to be your offensive coordinator? What does the offense look like? Who's the quarterback going to be? I don't worry about the defense. Guys are going to want to play for Aaron Glenn. You got a ton of young talent on that defense. And the question is, does he try to shape it into moving into a 3-4, which I don't think would be a good decision, but not my call.
Yep. Well, if you're just joining us on the program here, we've been keeping an eye on all of the hires that are made around the NFL. John Spytek, who was an assistant GM with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, have been with the Buccaneers since 2016, is getting the Raiders job. He had been linked to Ben because they had worked together in the past. So there's no real... Spytek, by the way, in case anybody didn't know this, he also was a teammate of Tom Brady's in college. They went to Michigan together.
Yes.
So they go way back. So now that Brady's part owner of the Raiders, he's doing the Patriots thing, keeping it in the family. And see, that's the biggest loss for everybody. Everybody needing an offensive coordinator today. Josh McDaniels is no longer available. He'll be heading back to the Patriots to join the staff of Mike Vrabel. Look, sometimes you hit home runs in the coach hiring process. Sometimes you don't.
And once it's all said and done, that's when we will. That's when we'll do grades for each of the hires. I don't grade things until I know where everybody else went.
Yes.
Because as soon as you do that, that's when somebody pulls a rabbit out of a hat and you go, well, that makes me like everything else either way less or way more.
Right. Well, and it's also wait until you see, who the Raiders hire. Like, would that have been a better hire for the Jets or for the Saints? You just don't know until the cards are shown, so to speak. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, a good-looking day today, but one of those cold, kind of deep blue sky, sunny, frigid winter days. Near 30 degrees. Very cold night tonight, down near 12. Single digits in our colder spots, but less wind, so less wind chill, but still a frigid start to Thursday. Some sun with clouds in the afternoon. 38. Friday, sunny, we dip a little bit to about 36. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by A. American Electric.
For over 40 years, A. American Electric has been family-owned and operated right here in WNC. With 3 generations and over 100 dedicated teammates, they are powered to serve our community. Homes and businesses can trust A. American Electric. Visit a-americanelectric.com.
The recent wildfires that ravaged Los Angeles now account for one of the largest disasters in the history of our country. Now, iHeartRadio is bringing you an historic fundraising event.
The Fire Aid Benefit Concert.
Live in Los Angeles.
Donate today at fireaidla.org.
Join us January 30th.
Listen live to the Hit Nation station on the free iHeartRadio app, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern.
And show your support for the people in need in Los Angeles.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We're here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4 VICTIMS.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where TurboTax Expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup.
My crime story's from Brazil, and did you see that super chat?
Ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work.
Yes, I see it.
To select the freshest items for a
10-4.
pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text
We'll do that after crimes.
designated space, and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
We are back in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, and it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Crimes is, this is not necessarily crimes, but I feel like this is one of those it should be. This is internet-connected appliances in your house. I don't understand the need for that. Right? Like people have refrigerators that keep up with what you're eating, and they will order your food for you and make sure that you never run out of things. And I guess that is a great convenience to have, right? And I'll never have to go to the refrigerator and cuss at 2:30 in the morning again when all of my coffee creamer is gone. So, I mean, I guess that could be a benefit.
If you can have it, why would you not have it? Would be my question.
I don't trust it. I don't trust electronics. I don't want the electronics having all of my information. I don't like the fact that my cell phone listens to me and then shows me like ads for things that I just talk to random people about.
Yeah, wait till you realize that it does it with things you don't say out loud.
Having a conversation with somebody about something you care nothing about, then all of a sudden you're getting ads on your phone for widgets. I didn't even want a widget. I don't even like widgets. So-and-so said he liked widgets. Why is my phone showing me this?
And wait till it happens with things you just think, not things you
actually. The fact that more and more things in our lives that we use are collecting our data. That's a big topic now with the whole TikTok situation being owned by China and our data's being farmed and all of that. Serious threat. I don't mean to make light of it. I'm just saying this is where we are now. And so there's a story today about home exercise equipment, Peloton, Nordic Track, all of those things. Like those are internet connected now. And now Consumer Reports is out with a warning that those companies are harvesting sensitive data about you. Not just your height and your weight, but other things as well. Like your dietary habits or how much you're using the machine, right? That's really what we all need. You spend a bunch of money on one of these things, then you're going to get email one day, hey, why aren't you using your Peloton? I get enough pressure from myself. I don't need you riding me as well. And that story made me think of another story that I saw the other day that so apparently there's a company that sells adult toys and those connect to the internet as well. Why do you need that to take place?
Well, I mean, if you want anything that's going to mine your data, that would be one that
your life to be connected to the internet. I don't get that part of it. It was the lawsuit filed in San Francisco's U.S. District Court that alleges that the company LoveSense, which is based in Hong Kong, collects records of highly intimate and sensitive data regarding their customers, like how long you use the machine, how often you use the machine. These are all things that I don't think people need to know. And I feel like collecting that data should be a crime. I just don't get why everything has to be connected. It doesn't make sense to me.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you don't have a can on or what, but literally, I've been talking for 5 minutes and you just blow right through it. So I have no idea what you just did, but okay, you can hear me again. Don't look at the chat on Zoom because you're not going to like what it says. Put your damn can on. Anyway, my story's from Brazil. It's about 29-year-old Danielson Paiva. His wife worked at the Machado supermarket in Sinop, Brazil. Well, apparently she had an issue with one of the managers, 40-year-old Claudio dos Santos. And she told her husband that he had, quote, morally assaulted her. I don't know what those words mean. I know what morally means. I know what assaulted means. I don't know how you assault someone morally. But now her husband is in a Brazilian prison facing first-degree murder charges. Now, none of that would be that untoward until I tell you what he actually did. He went into the supermarket, which apparently sells shovels. Not real sure why a supermarket sells shovels, but apparently this one does. So he walked up to Mr. Dos Santos. He confronted him. They had just a bit of an altercation. There's video of it. It doesn't look that untoward. Mr. Piava walks away. Dos Santos picks up his cell phone and starts talking. Then out of the corner of the video, you see the husband, Mr. Piava, show back up and hit him in the head with a shovel, which does not knock him out. He took a full-on blow from a metal shovel and got right back up.
Nice.
According to Mr. Dos Santos, he said it was because he had his cell phone to his ear and his cell phone took most of the blow. Although the screen did shatter and he had to have his ear surgically reattached.
Yikes.
And now Mr. Husband is headed to the old Gray Bar Motel. Because he tried to kill his wife's boss because she said he morally assaulted her. Now, for those that are curious, Mr. Dos Santos said, I don't know that I've ever had direct contact with her. He said, I don't have contact with the employees, but I do hold the leaders accountable. I don't know how she conveyed this information, but we've never really spoken to each other. And now you're going to do life in jail. In a Brazilian jail, which does not sound like fun.
No. Most definitely not. All right, so his head withstood the blow from the shovel. The ear, not so much.
The ear looked rather damaged. There was a good amount of blood in the video, which it makes sense. When I watched it the first time, I thought, he's dead. There is no way that much blood should come out of your ear.
Oh, man. Never stop criming, guys.
And by the way, now that you can hear me again, you said that adult devices were data mining for people.
Right.
There's still guys that couldn't figure out how to get to the end of that race. You data mine it till the end of time. It'll tell you exactly how to do it. You can write a 12-step instructional guide. You won't get through 3 before she falls asleep or gives up.
Nice.
I was so frustrated trying to get that out, going, why can you not hear me?
I couldn't. I don't know why. All right, anyway, back to the tomfoolery of the day. Jeremy, hang on, we did have sorry, I forgot we had a question in the YouTube comments for you.
Stephen Tao, while you're finding that, Stephen Tao said the Pornhub year-end review is one thing I look forward to every year.
Is that a real thing?
I don't know. I have absolutely no idea.
Is that like you're wrapped on Spotify?
That's what I was thinking.
Does it tell you how many minutes of the year?
Does it tell you how many minutes you spent watching in 2024? Because I feel like for a lot of you, that's a piece of information you should set your hard drive on fire. There's no chance my wife's accidentally going to find that. Oh, so you mean you spent September on that website? Cool. That's good to know. That's hard to do 3 minutes at a time, Jerry.
Yeah, it is. Eric Miller wanted to know about Ryan Grubb. Would he work in Detroit?
Oh, I think Ryan Grubb's probably headed back to college if I had a wager. Detroit's got a lot of options, and I would not sleep on Antoine Randall L. I wouldn't sleep on Dan Campbell promoting both of the coordinators from his staff.
Okay, who's the other one?
Oh, I saw this earlier. There was another name. Let me see if I can find the note. Oh, we have more breaking news that apparently Hank Fraley will not be going to the Bears. And now he is the favorite to be the offensive coordinator of the Lions.
Okay. There you go. Well, that's good. We also have a super chat.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right, comes to us from Soaring Eagle. He says, oh, no, Jeremy, brace yourself. I just found, per Michael K., that Aaron Glenn might want to keep Aaron Rodgers.
That would not be a brace myself. That's the best case scenario of who the quarterback of the New York Jets is next year. Because if it's not Aaron Rodgers, 2 would be Tyrod Taylor. 3 would probably be Jordan Travis. 4 would be one of these bum rookies that I already don't like. Yeah, I'm good on every single bit of that. I have no problem with Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback. What I have a problem of is that it became such an Aaron Rodgers country club, and the team quit. I don't know how you get away from. I don't know how you get. Right. I don't know how you fix that. Now
right,
I will
how do you change that culture.
Now I will say there is a report out there from Jordan Schultz that says there are a few targets that have already been leaked for Aaron Glenn's staff. Mark Brunell as the offensive coordinator. He was a Jet quarterback at one time. And that one makes a lot of sense. I'd actually heard that one. I had not heard the rest of the names I'm getting ready to say here. Thomas Brown as the running backs coach. Steve Wilkes as the defensive coordinator. That's encouraging that you may keep 4-man front. Chris Banjo as the special teams coordinator. That doesn't mean a lot to most people, but he was a pretty good special teams player in the NFL. Mike Westhoff to come out of retirement to be the special teams coordinator.
Nice.
Which I would love because I'm friends with Mike. And former Chiefs head coach Todd Haley as the assistant head coach for offense.
Todd Haley running the offense.
Well, it sounds like Brunell would actually be running the offense. Haley would be like a special advisor.
Okay, like a liaison between the offensive coordinator and the head coach?
The way I'm reading this report is that Haley would be a guy that could soften the transition of Brunell into actually calling plays. Because he's never done that before.
Okay.
I will tell you this, though. Of all the years that I have been a fan of and covered the Jets, Mark Brunell might be the smartest player I've ever physically talked to. I'm good with it all.
Okay.
I was so scared it was Matt Nagy. We got to this point, I'm fine.
Yeah.
and hey, maybe that was Woody Johnson's theory. I'll give you 5 options that are so bad that I'm going to interview. You'll be happy with whoever I hire that's not them.
Sloan Jordan in the YouTube comments says, just had to pop in and say that he is digging the Glenn hire for his Jets. He wanted Joe Brady, but Glenn was his 2. And he says the rumored staff looks just phenomenal. Which, reading off those names, I was thinking you got a lot of experience on that staff. You've got a lot of guys that fit the pieces, right? Fit the roles. Mark Brunell as an offensive coordinator is not one that I had ever thought about. But, I mean, I do know that he has been a position coach.
He's quarterback's coach for the Lions.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see if he can call plays in this league.
He also started his career with the Green Bay Packers. Not that that means anything, but it's well before Aaron Rodgers.
Did he really?
Yeah. Before he went to Jacksonville, he was the backup to Favre in Green Bay.
Nice. Remember, Mark Brunell once heroically had like 3 great weeks at the end of a season with the Washington Redskins and helped propel me to a fantasy championship. It was just one of those that I'll never forget because it was the most, I don't know, dartboard thing that you could ever think of. Mark Brunell, really? That was the guy that won you a fantasy championship? Good job.
Look, I'm good with it. I think all of this steers in the right direction. And now I look at the other teams that still have coaching hires going, there are landmines out here for you. Just hope you don't fall on one of them.
Yep.
If you had to make a guess on each team as we're headed out here. So you got the Cowboys.
Yes. Cowboys.
It's Kellen Moore.
I think it'll be Kellen Moore.
I do too. The Saints, I believe, is between Joe Brady and Mike McCarthy. I'll lean that it's probably Mike McCarthy.
That's what I was thinking as well. And Joe Brady for the Raiders?
I don't know. I just don't have a good feel on the Raiders. That one feels a little out of left field to me.
Mm-hmm.
but I do feel like Brady probably gets a job in this cycle. There's just been so much tie between McCarthy and the Saints, it's hard for me to think that at the 11th hour they're going to full court press Joe Brady. Although he was at LSU, so they know him pretty well.
True. He was on their staff, wasn't he?
I believe you. I think he was with the Saints before he went to LSU, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think he worked for Peyton down there in New Orleans, but I could be wrong on that. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. That'll wrap up another banner day for us here in the Sportsocracy, coming to you from the Ingalls studio. When we join you tomorrow, of course, we will continue to keep an eye on all of the coaching hires, the coaching carousel continuing to spin. I'm sure we'll have more draft prospectus to cover with Flostradamus, Jeremy Green, plus getting closer and closer to the conference championship games in the NFL. We will see you back here at noon.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. How can I help you?
My schedule is crazy. I just want some me time.
We could all use a sanctuary from stress. Why not turn your bedroom into the place to decompress with our selection of comfortable beds, pillows,
and we're clear.
And so
is something
much
going
more.
on with the
Every
board
time you
because
step
I
in
was
there, it's
popping
nothing
in and
but
out?
Just keeps blipping.
You time.
Okay.
Sounds like a dream.
That must have been what happened while I was doing my story.
In store.
Oh, yeah, because I was starting to panic because it lasted like 4 full minutes.
Blissful bedroom today.
Playoffs.
Well, I got to one point and I realized I couldn't hear you, and then I looked over and nothing was wrong. I was just like, "What the hell?" And then
I was literally doing jumping jacks in the chat.
I basically just touched something, and it went, "Oh, hey, there he is." Oh, okay.
Try betting on
I was doing jumping jacks on the YouTube screen.
Go to DraftKings Sportsbook.
Why can you not hear me? Everything's working. All the levels on my side are right.
Yeah, no, it's doing that thing that the WWNC board does.
Sweet.
That's cool. Where everything just goes blank, and then it'll come back.
Yeah, see, the way that the stream works on my side is that I have a level for you, and I have a level for me. And so when mine goes dead, every once in a while, the module will blink. It just gets overloaded, and I have to tap the button on the top to reset it.
Right.
But when I can see myself, I'm going, I know that's going out, so it should be coming in. And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting?
All right, I'm going to head over and get the truck washed because it's just now 32. So, hopefully I'm not washing it with ice chunks. But
okay.
They said it had to be washed.
It's easy to find the right person.
Yes. So I'll just call you when I leave the
post on ZipRecruiter. Get a quality
car wash because I'm going to the one past
Try ZipRecruiter
Fast
for
Signs
free
on Patton.
At ZipRecruiter.
Yeah, down there by the.
That's ZipRecruiter.com.
There's like a church down there or something.
/free.
Yes.
Because I got to have a big bay to be able to get in.
What?
Yeah.
That will change.
All right, I'll yell at you.
2025. Let's pay.
All right, brother.
Supposed to be paying
Attention.
A lot of things can happen.
A busy news year on 570 WWNC.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Just visit ingalls-markets.com. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the hardest hit areas in those first hours. Like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
I had a good-looking day today, but one of those cold, kind of deep blue sky, sunny, frigid winter days. Near 30 degrees. Very cold night tonight, down near 12. Single digits in our colder spots. But less wind, so less wind chill, but still a frigid start to Thursday. Some sun with clouds in the afternoon. 38. Friday, sunny, we dip a little bit to about 36. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by A. American Electric.
For over 40 years, A. American Electric has been family-owned and operated right here in WNC. With 3 generations and over 100 dedicated teammates, they are powered to serve our community. Homes and businesses can trust A. American Electric. Visit a-americanelectric.com.
I'm Naheem Hines. I support the Muscular Dystrophy Association because they help my mom and kids like Ethan.
Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before.
Join us and learn more at mda.org today.
It's just not normal, the pain caused from chronic joint pain day after day. But some of you have dealt with that pain.
Oh, did you see the chat? Trent Baalke got fired.
Short-term fixes are not working.
Did he really?
Again in 20.
Yeah.
With help from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine joint preservation. Yes, you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery.
That tells me they're going hard in the paint on somebody that did not want
solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis.
That lends more to Joe Brady.
Tens of thousands.
That makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if it was Liam Coen that did it. If Liam said, "I'm not working with that motherfucker," and they went, "Okay, if Liam Cohen's not going to work with him, maybe this is the sign we needed."
Make the most of the new year. Call QC Kinetics in Asheville and Greenville. Call 828-333.
Not that they would fire him for
Coen,
but
no,
I mean Cohen's Studios. This is
out,
ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225.
I'm going to have to dig into that more for tomorrow.
WM
Yep.
Waynesville and iHeart Radio.
All right, I'll yell at you in a minute.